markets. Capital markets are not merely financial platforms. They are engines of economic growth, innovation, entrepreneurship, and global confidence.
As India aspires to become a Vishwaguru, our capital markets must evolve into world-class institutions, transparent, resilient, inclusive, and globally competitive. And where do cost and management accountants stand in this journey?
We are not mere spectators.
We are architects of governance.
We are custodians of financial discipline.
We are strategists of sustainable growth.
From corporate restructuring to valuation, from compliance to strategic advisory, from risk management to performance optimization, CMAs play a pivotal role in strengthening investors' confidence and market integrity.
This discussion is not just about markets. It is about India's global leadership. It is about transforming capital into capability. It is about turning economic strength into global influence. With this thought, we now move ahead to this highly anticipated technical session.
I would now like to request CMA Manisha Agrawal ma'am to escort CMA Mitanshu Shah sir, Ms. Parvati Murthy ma'am and Shri Chetan Vyas sir to the dais.
I would like to request CMA Mohit Nagdev sir to escort Shri Kishan Kumar sir, Shri Krunal Brahmat sir and CMA Priyank Jhala sir to the dais.
I would like to request CMA Priyank Vyas sir to escort CMA Amit Apte sir and Shri Puneet Javeri to the dais.
So gracing the dais are CMA Mitanshu Shah, founder and CEO of Messrs Advisors,
Ms. Parvati Murthy, AVP, Listing NSE,
Shri Chetan Vyas, HOD of Merchant Banking Division at Goldmine Stocks Private Limited,
Shri Kishan Kumar Gupta, Director, Resurgent India Limited,
Shri Krunal Brahmat, FRC Committee Member, Government of Gujarat,
CMA Priyank Jhala, Strategic Advisor,
CMA Amit Apte, Director, Levar Consultant,
Shri Puneet Javeri, Research Analyst and Markets Anchor, NDTV Profit,
CMA Manisha Agrawal, Regional Council Member, WIRC, ICMAI,
CMA Mohit Nagdev, Treasurer, ICMAI Baroda Chapter,
and CMA Priyank Vyas, Immediate Past Chairman, Vice Chairman, ICMAI Baroda Chapter.
To formally commence this session, it's my privilege to invite CMA Manisha Agrawal ma'am, Regional Council Member, ICMAI, to deliver the welcome address. But before that, a brief introduction about her. She is a seasoned cost and management accountant with over 3 decades of professional experience in cost audit, valuation, insolvency, and financial advisory. She is a member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India with extensive exposure across manufacturing, infrastructure, power, steel, beverages, and MSME sectors. She is also the founder of Manisha and Associates, later expanded into a multi-partner firm with pan-India presence. She served as a special auditor under Section 14AA in reputed organization and received appreciation from the Commissioner of Excise for her professional excellence. She also happens to be a visiting faculty to MBA colleges across India. She has been awarded as the Vocational Excellence Award for the year 2020-2021 of the Rotary Club of Nagpur. I would like everyone to please give her a big round of applause, and I would welcome her to please deliver the welcome address.
Hello, good morning, everybody. So, thank you so much. The theme of today's session is India Rising, Capital Market for Vishwaguru Future. Respected, esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, and dear professional colleagues, a very warm welcome to you all. Chai se chip tak, India's economy is brewing, and the capital market is funding this transformation. Today, when we say India Rising, it is not just a slogan, it is a reality. From roadside tea stalls to semiconductor halls, we are growing everywhere. Our startups are expanding, MSMEs are scaling up, IPOs are increasing, retail investors are participating in record numbers. The capital market has become the growth engine of New India. Markets may swing up and down, but India's transformation from grassroots chai to global chip is only moving forward. And this is the entire journey. Where do we stand in this journey as CMAs? We stand at the foundation. Before a company gets listed, before valuation happens, before investors trust numbers, someone has to ensure cost discipline, transparency, sustainability, and realistic projections. That is where cost and management accountants play a silent but powerful role. If India has to become Vishwaguru, our capital markets must be strong, and strong markets need more fundamentals. That responsibility is partly ours. We are privileged to have such an outstanding panel of experts from listing, merchant banking, advisory, governance, and market research. Your practical insights will guide us on how professionals can contribute meaningfully to India's capital market growth story. Let today's session energize us. Let it remind us that CMAs are not spectators in India's growth. We are contributors. With this spirit, I warmly welcome you all and look forward to a powerful and insightful discussion. Thank you once again, and I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
May I now request CMA Mohit Nagdev, Treasurer, ICMAI, Baroda Chapter, to kindly come forward and introduce the panelists for today's session. But before that, I would like to take a brief moment to introduce CMA Mohit Nagdev. CMA Mohit Nagdev is a SEBI-registered investment advisor and certified financial planner with over 5 years of industry experience. He is a qualified cost and management accountant and first rank holder in Baroda City. He provides comprehensive financial planning and investment advisory services to individuals, professionals, and business owners. He specializes in creating structured financial roadmaps, ensuring investment compliance, and delivering client-centric solutions aligned with long-term goals. An active committee member of the ICAI Baroda chapter, Mohit sir is known for his ethical standards, trusted relationships, and commitment to empowering clients through informed financial decision making. I would now like to request Mohit sir to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Vaishvik sir, for the introduction. Warmly welcome to all the panelists and moderator on the dais, and of the dais, all the members and professional colleagues. So I will start with Har Har Mahadev, because tomorrow is the auspicious day of Mahashivratri. So let's begin this session with the Lord Shiva by blessings of the Lord Shiva. And even Baroda chapter is also joining tomorrow's Shivji Ki Savari Yatra. So every members and students can also participate in that. So yes, it's time for introducing our panelist and moderator. First, it's really honored for us to have a CMA Amit Apte sir, former president of Institute of Cost Accounts of India, 2018-19. And we remember, Baroda chapter specially remembers him for his event conducted at Baroda chapter alongside when Sir was the president, was holding a president. Sir, thank you. And felicitation, I would like to felicitate Sir with Sir has 26 years of post-qualification experience in the field of costing, MIS, finance and account, and ERP system implementation. Trans Private Limited and Divare Info Solutions Private Limited. Yes. And I would call Mahesh Deswal sir to felicitate sir, please. Event. Yes. Yes. Parvati Murthy is Associate Vice President, SME Business and Development at NSC of India, where she is responsible for SME listings across India. So यहाँ पे सब SMEs listing या donors बैठे, Madam is the right person. She is a chartered accountant and also holds a CFA and FRM certification. With nearly 2 decades of post-qualification experience, she has worked in corporate and investment banking with leading institutions such as ICICI Bank, ING Bank, and State Bank of India, where she lasted handled SME business development. Ma'am, I would request Supriya Tamble ma'am to come forward and felicitate the ma'am. Supriya ma'am, she's coming. Now it's time to introduce Shri Chetan Vyas sir, HOD of Merchant Banking Division at Goldmine Stocks Private Limited. Mr. Chetan Vyas is Chartered Accountant and alumnus of Indian Institute of Management, Indore. He is an HOD, Merchant Banking at Goldmine, a SEBI registered merchant banker, Category 1, and banker of National Stock Exchange of India and BSE Limited both. He has nearly 15 years of experience at NSC India, handling inspection, enforcement, and SME listing guidance. And I request Arunabha Saha, ma'am, to Arunabha sir, to come forward and felicitate, sir. Now, Shri Krishna Kumar Gupta, sir. Mr. K.K. Gupta is currently a director at Resurgent India, leading corporate finance and management consultancy service. He specializes in debt, equity, and transaction advisory, delivering end-to-end financial solutions to clients. Mr. Gupta, over 40 years of banking experience, including senior leadership roles at Central Bank of India as general manager. He headed major zones like Delhi and Mumbai, managing business volumes above 20,000 crores. Sir, and I would request Shrikant sir to come forward and felicitate, sir. Now, it's time for CMA Priyank Zala, Strategic Advisor, most active member at Baroda chapter with us. Sir supports in every events with us. Formal introduction, sir has 13 years of experience of diverse corporate experience across strategies, mergers and acquisitions, financial analysis, project management, client delivery, and SAP consulting. He started his career with Accenture in 2011 as a business analyst in SAP technology, practicing working in various modules like SAP, FI, CO, project systems, and investment management. I request Rahul Jain sir to come forward and felicitate sir. आप जितनी जोर से तालियां बजाओगे उतना अच्छा बोलने वाले ये लोग. हाँ, Rahul Jain sir here. Now, it's time for our CMA Mitanshu Shah sir. In Baroda, everybody knows him. Mitanshu Shah sir, as a founder and managing director of MS Advisors, specializing in strategic finance, M&A, and business transformation for MSMEs and trading companies. With over 31 years of experience, he has worked across pharmaceuticals, engineering, real estate, and financial service sectors. I request Vivek sir, Vivek Balarao sir to come forward and felicitate sir. now it's time for Shri Kunal Brahmbhatt sir. हम सब ने जो शुभेच्छा संदेश देखा है ना ऑनलाइन इंस्टाग्राम लिंक्डइन सब वो सब it was supported by Kunal Brahmbhatt sir. Kunal sir, CM Chief Minister से Deputy Chief Minister से even our Education Minister से sir has supported Baroda chapter and he has been supporting Baroda chapter across all events. Sir, we welcome you and I would love to come and I request Saurabh Das sir to felicitate sir. Sir is currently a member of Fee Regulation Committee, Vadodara Zone, Government of Gujarat. He has been co-opted member of ICMAI Delhi in the Professional Development Committee. And obviously he is a senior partner of VRCA Associates and Chartered Accountants. Now it's time to welcome our Shri Puneet Javeri sir, today's moderator. Sir has traveled across from Mumbai. Sir is doing anchor at NDTV Profit, Ask Profit, which comes late evening around 9 p.m. So I request Manisha ma'am to felicitate Puneet Javeri sir. He joined NDTV Profit in 2024 and is a research analyst and market anchor. Graduated from Jai Hind College in 2018 and started his career with an internship in Edelweiss Capital in the auto sector under Chirag Shah, the lead analyst. Before forwarding mic to Puneet sir, मैं सिर्फ इतना बोलना चाहूँगा कैपिटल मार्केट्स के बारे में कि 1 फरवरी को बजट आया था, सबने देखा, लेकिन मार्केट को नहीं अच्छा लगा और उसके दूसरे दिन ही यूएस ट्रेड डील अनाउंस हो गई. This shows, I think, the timing or maybe the deal was done in one day or timing, it was a timing. This shows the importance of capital markets for becoming the vision Vishwaguru. With this, I handle mic to Puneet Javeri sir to take forward the session. Check.
Well, hello everybody, a very good morning to all of you. कल आए थे, सबने जलेबी खाया, पोहा खाया, तो एनर्जी रहनी चाहिए आज के सेशन में. बट फर्स्टली थैंक यू मीर भाई, थैंक यू मोहित भाई फॉर हैविंग मी हियर. इट्स बिन अ प्लेजर. गुजरात में 2 दिन बिता के बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. खाना तो बहुत अच्छा है ही, बट हम सबके लिए आज के सेशन की इम्पोर्टेंस इतनी ज़्यादा है क्योंकि सच बोलूँ तो किसी का पोर्टफोलियो अच्छा नहीं कर रहा है 12-18 महीने में. मेरा तो नहीं कर रहा है. मार्केट इज़ नॉट काइंड इन द लास्ट 12 to 18 months. बट जैसा मोहित भाई ने अभी कहा कि बजट से इतना मजा नहीं आया, यूएस ट्रेड डील से तो आ गया, ईयू एफटीए से भी आ गया. सो इतना डाइवर्स पैनल जो है, जो इतना बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है इस पैनल का, वो हम यूज करने का ट्राई करेंगे अगले कुछ मिनटों में. वील ट्राई एंड पोज ऑल क्वेश्चंस अक्रॉस द सेगमेंट्स because we have a very legendary panel in the experience that they are offering. What I would request all of you, of course, to keep your phones on silent because यहाँ पे मैंने बहुत देखा है, बहुत unique ringtones होते हैं सबके. But also in terms of any questions that you might have, we'll love to take them. But before I start with all of you, I just want to take some perspective from each one of you in terms of what has been, the last few years in terms of the markets, of course, but your each individual experiences as well as to what we get here. Now, the theme, of course, is capital markets. But let me also start with Priyank sir on largely what we've seen in the last few years specifically in terms of the budding MSME, in terms of the budding smaller companies that have come in. Now, you've worked with so many corporates, and now you're helping a lot of startup companies to come up, being a strategic advisor to a lot of them. Firstly, what has been the conversation since in your new role to talking to all these companies, and what do you expect in the next few years for them to become?
Yeah. So I think if you look at India's capital market, right? I mean, broadly, recently we have seen a lot of the new age startups getting listed, right? But just to give you a context about the market, right? I think India is about $4 trillion in market capitalization, right? So that's about 100% of our GDP, right? And then if you look at the participation, right, it is more retail driven at the moment, right? So I think for MSMEs, I think all of these new age startups that are coming, that are getting listed, I feel what they are looking at is two things, right? One is retail participation, certainly yes, that is always helpful. But I think what they are also expecting is more of institution participation, more of institution anchoring, right? Second thing, whatever I'm seeing right now, right, when I talk to them or when I work with them, I think what we need to make sure is that they are more institution ready in terms of their corporate governance, their accounting practices, in terms of the disclosure requirements. I think that is something that obviously as a small or MSME sector is the biggest challenge that I see, right? And that sort of makes them, institution ready, if you can fix that piece. Capital is available, that's not a problem. I think we all agree on that. I think capital is in abundance. But I think now what's happened in the last 3 years at least, or at least post-COVID, right? I think a lot of capital is now cautious. They're not just chasing revenue growth. They are not just chasing, growth, right? Growth at any cost. That mentality is gone now, at least what I see in my space. A lot of people are now talking about path to profitability. A lot of people are talking about pedigree of the founders. What is your, sustainability of the moat? A lot of those things, the traditional things, the way people used to look at the ventures is now coming up. So today, if you have to really raise funds, whether it's from public market or private market, you really need to fix all of these pieces together and, be investable as a company, right? Pre-COVID, I think we had a good run, but I think now reality has sank into everyone. So I think that's what I am seeing right now. And capital, certainly it is available. You just need to be, make yourself disciplined and become investable. That's my take. Yeah.
Well, that's a key take, of course, coming in from what companies also have to do in that sense. But and as you rightly said, this is of course not a recommendation, but har ether ka ek ola hai, and we have to be very alert as investors also to look at such companies. But let me also just bounce off the question to Ms. Parvati very quickly, because you've been working with SMEs over the last so many years, now of course at NSE. In terms of which companies actually, and how are you trying to convince them in terms to come for an IPO so that us as retail investors get access to them? What has been the conversation with those companies? Have they been willing to come in? And also, just to start off with, how many actually SME companies are now listed, and what's the number that's expected to be maybe in this year itself? What kind of fireworks can we expect now?
So first of all, let's rewind. This platform, which is called NSE Emerge, is a dedicated platform for SME companies to come and raise capital. So this was formed in 2012 with the approval of SEBI. So we are at about 14 years since existence. Now, if I were to look at how the journey has been, their initial years have been there. It's just about awareness. People were not even knowing that there is an alternate route where SMEs can come. So those were the years where, as an organization, NSE has gone across the length and breadth to just tell people that, look, there is a platform like this. And back then, there have been years where we've done just 3 or 4 listings in the entire year. And now if you look at the journey, just the last 3 years, I would say probably post-COVID is where this platform has actually found acceptance. Out of the, so since its inception, NSE has about 700 listed companies, a similar number with the other exchange. So totally we have about 1400 odd companies. So if you look at it from a fireworks perspective, nowhere close yet. If I were to look at it from the fireworks perspective, 2024 was probably the fireworks year in the journey so far, because that saw some kind of, exuberance, mindless FOMO, I may say, that every asset class or from an investor's perspective, हर एक का एक फ्लेवर चलता है, एक दौर आता है, क्रिप्टो का दौर आया था, मेटल्स का दौर आया था, पिछले साल 2024 में एसएमई स्टॉक्स का भी दौर आया था. सो एज अ रेगुलेटर ये जब दौर चलता है कई बार हमको डर लगता है, क्योंकि इन्वेस्टर का माइंडसेट ये है कि भाई जब तक मैं पैसा कमा रहा हूँ वो मेरा स्किल है, लेकिन जब वो पैसा गवाता है वो ये पूछता है सेबी क्या कर रहा है, एक्सचेंज क्या कर रहा है, तुम्हारा काम था ये कि हमको बचाए. सो दैट्स बिहेवियर, दैट्स ह्यूमन बिहेवियर. You can't eliminate that out of the process, but you've got to be mindful of this. So probably that's where, in order for the fireworks not to light up the entire economy and take it down on fire, SEBI came up with a set of more stringent regulations, both on the issuer side and on the investor side. And so now from there on, I think we've passed the phase of exuberance, and now I think discretion rules. From it being a FOMO market, I think now where we are looking at is investors try and see whether genuinely, like what you mentioned, Priyanci, genuinely are you having a moat? Is your business niche? Are you yet another chemical, textile or retail company won't sell? Are you having a niche? Are you having a moat? Are you having something which is profitability? So in case of SME companies, it's not just part to profitability, you need to have a profitability track record. So there's a minimum profit, a number which has been put in the eligibility criteria itself. Additionally, at NSE, we look at it whether you're even cash flow generating. Is it just paper profit or you're actually showing cash in terms of your operations? So how the market looks from here on, I would say this is a sweet spot where we are, where it is not exuberance, but it is actual on ground, real numbers, which is what will bring you investors attention and of course capital. Where we go on from here, I think tier 2, tier 3 is where our focus is. Most of the metros have a lot of, awareness and maturity. In that sense, Baroda is already a mature market. That's something which we've always seen. Enterprise is very integral to Gujarat. And so it's always good to be in Gujarat and interact with the people of Gujarat, because they're so much more aware and sensible about how capital markets work. But going forward, I think it's the tier 2, tier 3 towns which are driving this decision. Again, one of the things which we are seeing very clearly is the second and third generation promoters who are driving this decision to go public. They don't want to run the business like their fathers, grandfathers have done. टिपिकल लाला के जैसे बिजनेस नहीं चलाना है उन्होंने ये मन बनाया हुआ है क्योंकि उन्होंने दुनिया देखी है. दे आर वेल ट्रैवल्ड, वेल एजुकेटेड, तो उनको वो गले पे बैठ के ये नहीं करना है. दे बिलीव इन स्केल, और स्केल तब आएगा जब आप बिजनेस में कैपिटल लेके आएंगे, और बिजनेस में कैपिटल लाने के लिए आपको बिजनेस को स्केलेबल बनाना है, विच मीन्स दैट मुझे सेकेंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ लाइन ऑफ प्रोफेशनल्स को खड़ा करना है, so that as a promoter, my mind with band space is for doing strategic decision. जो पैसा लेके आएंगे उससे आपको दुगना तिगना चौगुना बनाना है, and not look at compliances. So broadly, these are the themes which we are seeing at a very good space right now, because circumspection is there.
After the rules, of course, it's gotten very stringent, and I think one of the most important points that you said, the cash flow has become very important. Idea तो सबका था, and हमने देखा है कि इतने सारे जो नए लिस्टेड कंपनीज है उसमें मेन मार्केट हैज बीन रिएक्टिंग ऑन कैश फ्लो, बिकॉज आइडिया तो बहुत अच्छा है, बट अगर 5 साल में अगर कैश फ्लो नहीं आ रहा है, सो व्हाट आर यू एक्चुअली बाइंग? सो टेक दैट पॉइंट वेरी क्लियरली, एंड थैंक्स सो मच फॉर हाईलाइटिंग दैट. मिस्टर मितांशु शाह, थैंक्स सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग इन, ऑफ कोर्स, बट योर experience in that sense, of course, has been very well, told about by Mohit ji. But how has, one, the key aspect is, और ये मार्केट वालों का बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कि हम फॉरेन कैपिटल नहीं आ रहा है, ये कहते रहे हैं कि लास्ट 18 महीने में से फॉरेन आउटफ्लो ही हुआ है. हाउ डू यू सी दिस पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट, as well as what your experience has been in getting to this stage and working with so many companies? If you can get us perspective on these two key aspects.
I don't Thank you for that question first, but I don't see Mihir. Is Mihir here? Where is he? Acha, he's outside. But I mean, many congratulations to Mihir for bringing something as big, as large, as wonderful as this to city of Baroda. So we are all eternally grateful to Mihir, ably supported by Amruta actually. So as a family, they kept everything aside and really, put up this show. So I think, I mean, nobody believed that, this could happen at this stage actually. So talking about stage, I mean, Mihir, I was just referring you and I said that thank you so very much from bottom of my heart for bringing something as big and, something as dazzling and something so deep and, beautiful to city of Baroda. Second, talking about stage actually, usually I have only danced on this stage. So this is a venue, Parvatiji, this is used for like, marriage occasions. This is used for, and this hall is particularly known for Sangeet Sandhya and stuff like that actually, okay. तो मैंने यहाँ पे शाम को बहुत dance किया है actually. So when they said that, you are coming here and stuff like that, I said that this should be easy then. I mean, and then Saturday morning we talking about, capital markets and, all of this. But anyways, question well taken. And the question was on why would FII leave or why would FII not come? I think, see, there are two very simple and clear things. They are extremely selfish lot of people. First, okay? When you say selfish, what does it mean? It means that they are chasing earnings. They are chasing profits. They saw that, at August 24 sort of level, where the markets were really exuberant. I mean, they were overpricey markets, basically. Small cap at around, 38, 39 earnings. Mid cap was at 32. I think the large caps were somewhere around 26, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. I think that was a time when they thought that, let's take the money off the table actually. Till that time, everybody was liking India. India was a great story. But this is, markets are also a great equilibrium of, what you do, what you perform, what you have. And if you don't, and if there is no visibility, the capital will fly. The second thing is that I'm not supposed to do this, sitting in state of Gujarat here in Baroda, to sort of, speak against the government policies. But what I vociferously have spoken in past, and I really re-emphasize this today, is about the capital gains tax actually. There are 200 countries in the world who have capital markets, okay, 200, of which 199 do not tax foreign capital. We are the only one who do that. And if we come, and then it's still complicated. I mean, so that's a dichotomy. Second thing is, there could be a very smart regulations that you can put and you can still generate that kind of money. But we are not able to catch them. For example, something what Jane Street did to us sometimes back actually, So there are ways of making similar kind of money through a different mechanism, but do not shun away the FPIs and, and FPIs eventually have impact on FDI as well, basically. And this is what I have been of late witnessing. So these are two primary reasons: earnings and the capital gains, which is our embargo. What we could do in future so that we can start getting them back is that we have to create world-class institutions here in India. We have to create like something like Louis Vuitton, what they created there, and capital across the globe will come and chase LVHM, right? We have to create. We have our own strengths. We could create great hospitality company. We could create something wonderful on Ayurveda. I mean, nobody has thought about something on wellness. If we are able to create something which is unique, which is different, I mean, because capital is something that we are not really efficient at. We will never be able to. Neither we are someone who has wherewithals or who has someone who has a strength or that kind of, belly to put in. Google, Meta, all of these guys are putting $800 billion into data centers and future We were so happy when Google announced $10 billion of investment in Visakhapatnam. They're going to set up a data center there, right? And 10 billion, 800 billion. We're not there. So we have to find our niche. We have to find what platforms we can work on. What are we really good at? And if we are able to offer that to FPIs, they will come in. If we are able to give one more just simple bank and say that here is a one bank which works on, sorry, that's not the interest. I mean, you have to have created different models, and I think that's where you spoke about. Some SMEs are creating those kind of differentiated models, if governance, as Priyank said, kind of, gets into it, we will see FPI money coming in. Otherwise, it's going to be a distant dream. Today, even markets are really costly as we speak.
Well, that was straight arrow in that sense, and a little too early in what I was expecting, but thank you so much for getting us this perspective. Earnings has been the key aspect that we've been consistently talking about, and but we also have a few merchant bankers on the stage as well. So Chetan bhai, let me come to you. What we have seen in this past time, and what Ms. Parvati also highlighted, the number of companies that are coming post regulations, you're looking at cash flow, there's so much work that's going into it. Now, you've been at NSE in your previous role, now you've started your own venture. In that sense, what has been the conversation with the companies, and is there any challenges that you see that needs to be resolved at this time?
Thank you to asking that question, because the current challenge for the MSME companies to show them a profitable, first of all. So we all know that they are earning good profits, and Priyank bhai also associated with so many MSMEs, and Mitansu sir also. They are earning good profits, but somehow they are not able to showcase on the books. So whenever we meet them and to talk about the capital market and the opportunity for a fundraising, the first challenge came as a discussion that Chetan bhai kitna batana padega. So that's a question for us also, ki this is not the way you enter into the capital market. As an MSME promoters or as a professionals like a CMA, CA and CS, it's our duty to make them understand that there is an ocean is available in the capital market where the fund is available. People are ready to invest in your companies, but somehow the way they nurtured till time, not focusing on to showcase themselves, they are earning good, but somehow how he can make himself as a profitable on a personal capacity and not on a books. So sometimes it's a challenge for us to guide them to enter into the capital market. So that's the challenge. Generally after the NSE and SEBI has came within a March 24 circular, so it impact to majority MSME companies to go and list on the exchange boards. And secondly, there is a one hurdle point which SEBI also wants. Initially, when this platform was started, the partnership firm or maybe an LLP or maybe a proprietorship companies, very easily they can list themselves on a board. But somehow there is a lacuna in a LODR or regulations are there where we cannot showcase the balance sheet and financials of a proprietorship and partnership firm on a draft reading prospectus. So what happened, the people are not knowing exactly what his track record. So somehow it is well convinced point which SEBI had taken cap. So before entering into the capital market, they have to showcase at least one books in a public domain, and then only they enter into the capital market. So maybe this 1 year, 25, 26 and 26, 27 may impact on a number of listing of SME, but somehow post 27, I can see that there are a huge number of companies can come and list on the exchange board. So current our challenge is to make them MSME promoter to first of all understand that your books needs to be very well managed in terms of what exactly you are earning, you have to start showing. And secondly, the mindset of conversion of your proprietorship or a partnership firm into a limited entity. So majorly our role is goes into the make them understand and make them prepare for next one coming 1 or 2 years down the line to enter into the capital market. So that's current challenge which as a merchant banker we are facing, and we are interacting with them to the respective promoters.
Well, very pertinent point that you highlighted, because we could see some reduction in the listings that you highlighted, but also something that you said, something that Ms. Parvati highlighted on corporate finance and governance of the companies. And Mr. Gupta, let me come to you. You know, in corporate finance, it's becoming a key aspect that most SMEs are looking at now. What has been the unique conversations that you've had with all bankers that you are looking at, and your experience and what that could be a solution to the challenges that Chetan highlighted?
Thank you very much. First of all, I will tell, SME majorly they are not aware how to come to the IPO. Because our discussion with so many SMEs reveals that they are understating the profit. Actually, they are not aware. If they show the profit, definitely the valuation of their property, their valuation of their firm can increase. So that means we have to create awareness among the SME sector. So for that, we have written also one book on SME finance. And we have also started as a research in India, a merchant banking cell, where we are especially dealing with the SME people. We are preparing the DPR. We are helping the SME sector. Now, question is corporate finance. When we are talking with the big corporates, they are major facing the problem of the cash flow. Because the bankers still feel that they are lending on the asset side, balance sheet side lending, instead of cash flow lending. This concept is coming very clear. Instead of looking into the balance sheet, why we should not look after the cash flow, availability of the cash flow? The government also come very clearly for the cash flow statements. They should not ask any information from the party, from the entrepreneur, because everything is available in this system. When we are talking about the GST return, you can catch the information about the purchases, about the sale. Even the custom duty, you can fetch so many information. So by a digital banking, now the bankers taking the information from their account statement. Even the account statement, you can analyze the account statement, where you can know the debit, credit, what will be profit. Everything is available to that. So as a merchant banker, as an investment banker, we are preparing the technical economical viability reports also. We find that the major aspect the corporates are facing is the cash flow statements. Because when they are going to the banker, they are asking for collateral securities. Although notification are there for a startup, 20 crore rupees, you should not ask for any collateral securities. Still, bankers are insisting for that. I think that we have to look into that aspects to help the corporate financing. So major aspect what we are talking today is a capital market. SME can play a very important role for capital market. So we should create awareness among the SME sector, where they should show at least the profit in their books. Because by showing the profit, they can have a valuation, maximum valuation for their entrepreneurs. So that is my submissions, that we should look into we should see that the SME sector should be aware how they should come into the IPO sector. That is my feeling.
Well, Mr. Gupta, thank you for that view. Just so we also have someone who is, working with the government on one of some of the key committees. So, Mr. Kunal, let me come to you. Of course, welcome to the panel. But some of those key aspects that have been highlighted, and because you also work in IPO consultancy, you have that experience getting in. Firstly, what can the government do of some of the challenges that our panelists have spoken, and also what you have been seeing in terms of consulting some of these companies before the IPO, of what has been the suggestions that you've been making to them, and what are you seeing on the ground?
Hello, yeah, thank you. Right. Basically, what we have been seeing that presently Indian economy is $5 trillion economy. From the government aspect, we are looking forward by 2047 to India to be the #1 developed country and going to be a bank. So, by having statistical analysis, by 2047, we expect our economy would be $50 trillion economy. And like Chetan Bhai already said that contribution of capital market is 100%. So, there are 10 times prospect of Indian economy to be grow in future. So, roles of professionals like CA, CS, CMA would be tremendous. And we all are the brand ambassador of Indian economy. So, by our contribution and efforts, we must say that India going to be shine by 2047. The challenge is what you said while having IPO, like sir ने बोला अभी कि valuation problem आती है. Initially, while we are having consultation with the client, उनका क्या होता है कि लाला टाइम्स बिजनेस होता है, 3-4 अलग-अलग फर्म्स बना के काम करते हैं, so valuation generate नहीं होता, एक synergy generate नहीं होता है. So what our role is that to nourish them for 2 to 3 years and properly उनको valuation दे, एक जगह पे merger करवाए, and then as per the regulation हम उनको nourish करने के बाद IPO में लाए. So it's our responsibility by having professional mind to uplift them in the future.
Amitabh, of course, this stage is not anything unique to you. So in that sense, you already know what I might be asking you. But the role of, and I'll also open it up to the other panelists as well. The role of CMA actually has been one of the key ones that we've been consistently talking about. We have a few, of course, on the panelists as well. So what and how is being a CMA helpful in that case? What the audience can take, and anything your perspective you want to add also what was discussed on the panel today.
Yeah, thank you. So before I touch upon your question, some thoughts which came to my mind when Mitansh was talking about the FIIs, and so practically if you look at it, he used a specific term for FIIs. I would call them practical. India stock markets have been growing like anything right from 2020 till 2024, almost end of 2024, wherein the FIIs were always participating. But then at some point of time, the overall growth of Indian corporates and the growth which the capital markets, there was a clear disparity in that. So unless and until FIIs or even us are looking at the current markets as a very overvalued kind of a thing. Even though over the last 18 months, a lot of tapering has happened, so time correction has majorly happened, I would say. Just to give some statistics, over October 2023 to October 2024, the stock exchange gave us about 31-32% returns. Whereas the Indian EPS of the listed companies has grown by about 19%, 19. So the growth of the stock market was almost 1.75 times. Now in the next 1 year, from October 2024 to October 2025, the growth of the stock market has been just 1%, 1.2%, and the growth of the profitability has also tapered down from 19% to 15%. So naturally there is a tapering down of the growth of the corporate sector, the profitability of the corporate sector, and markets have given enough returns. So one of the primary reasons I would say why FIIs are not interested, they are still not seeing that value in the market. Of course, I agree to a large extent that stable government policies and transparent government policies will definitely go a long way. If you ask me personally, the current budget was excellent budget. And I believe market also felt that till the time there was an announcement on STT.
वो STT वाला जो लास्ट में आ गया उसके बाद तो कुछ भी नहीं सुनने वाले थे हम after a point of time. But I also want to highlight, sorry to cut you, but because we've had budget last year, we've had the RBI cutting rates, we've had PLI schemes announced, so government has done quite a bit in the last 1 year. So sorry, you were saying that, but I wanted to continue that point.
Absolutely, so I fully agree. So FIs are basically looking at that stability. So, and I mentioned STT only because that is where the entire thing went off the track, right? Even though the overall budget was excellent. Now coming back to your question, over the years, government has brought in a lot of transparency in the disclosures that are being made to the, and they are trying to ensure that the investors in India are making learned decisions. As we say that, for example, the government has introduced something called as the segmental reporting. Now, unless and until that segmental reporting is based on robust costing systems, wherein profitability of individual products can be worked out. I'm not asking the government to make that a public data because I understand that it's a very sensitive information. But at least now that the government has introduced the segmental data, they have to have one more mandate that that segmental reporting has to be not just excelling part, wherein majority of the expenses possibly get allocated based on the turnover of that particular segment, but on actual costing, deep-rooted costing systems. It will add a lot of value to the reporting per se, and the investors can get a lot of value-added information. Same is the case with the sensitivity analysis. So when we do the mathematics, that what happens that this company is having 4 different verticals. What happens if one of the verticals there is a tapering down of the growth? So that exact calculation is possible if and only if you have a proper costing system in place, wherein you also understand what is the contribution that particular segment is giving, adding to that particular sector. So as I said, cost accountants have a very, very big role as far as the reporting and the analytics of the financial data is concerned. If I may say, cost and management accountants are the ones who convert the accounting data to a decision grade data. And also based on the detailed costing and the valuations. So there can be a system whereby individual companies' valuations can be worked not simply on the methodologies that are accepted world over, but also they are challenged based on the costs which go into contributing towards the bottom line of the company. Yeah.
Well, that's some key big perspective. यार एक बार ताली बजा लो, ये वाला आंसर अच्छा था यार, ये वाला आंसर अच्छा था. But also, Ms. Parvati, quick 1 minute answer if possible on the role of CMA, because I also want to go to the others for that. And how do you feel?
Overall going to help that company scale up. For those in the second layer now, who are associated with the larger ones, there's definitely the entire ecosystem. So you could say dealers, you could say vendors to this large company. Where again, if the larger company wants to scale up, it is going to happen when the ecosystem supports it. So ecosystem, when capacity has to increase, has to get capital, right? So again, this could be a route where you can say that, this is one way where you can raise capital and fulfill that objective. And at a policy level, somewhere I feel that especially the SME IPO space is a space where, like what Chetan Bhai mentioned, that show the right picture in terms of books and profitability. So this is something where without coercion from the government, voluntarily the right picture and the right kind of corporate disclosures come onto the overall economy.
Priya, quick one on the role of CMAs, your perspective also in that sense?
I think our role is very clear in our head. The problem is with the founders. We are very clear what we bring to the table. The problem is they don't want to accept what we bring to the table. So I think, as I said, I think the issue is not capital. If you want to scale a company, you can't run it like a kirana shop. You can't do that. So people, I've seen promoters dreaming of IPOs, but behaving like they're running a kirana shop. That doesn't work. And if you don't have process-driven company, where, like, I think I saw yesterday's discussion that Reliance closes their books, I think some record time, right? So whenever I discuss, this is now a good example for me, which I will use with every discussion now, that if they can do it, you with one entity, why you can't do it, right? See, the question is of one, so I've seen two things. One, they don't appreciate what we bring to the table, number one. Number two, they do appreciate, but they don't want us on the table. because we bring hard-hitting facts, right? We look at numbers. We don't look at stories. Story is fine. I mean, everybody likes to listen to stories, right? But when you dig into the numbers, when you create systems, right? And it is tough for them to accept. Some of them do. I'm not saying it's all of them are like that. So I think our role is very clear, right? I think, and in fact, right now, in terms of profitability, like, if you don't understand what's the cost of your product, which is a fundamental thing, right? I've been in rooms where people have redefined gross margin for me. They've said, Priyank, ye gross margin aisa nahi hota hai. I said, मैं मेरा degree वापस दे देता हूँ, sir. Because then what can I do, right? So I've been in such situations, right? So it's okay. I mean, see, we can do what we can do, right? So India में क्या होता है? Unless regulations mandate it, we voluntarily कुछ नहीं करते हम लोग.
If I can.
And that's from the school days, right? School days में भी यही होता है ना. जब तक कोई rule नहीं बनता, कोई करेगा नहीं. ठीक है. So I hope as a community, I think definitely we should do what we are continuing to do. But I think our role is very clear: cost efficiency and clarity on reporting and disclosure. I think 2-3 things are very important.
So you want to comment?
What you were saying about promoters, it's like you get
Measures, and I think the GST rate kicker was the biggest one at the end, which we are seeing so much now, especially in the auto space. Everybody who was a buyer, and I hope यहाँ पे भी बहुत सारे लोग हो जिन्होंने गाड़ी खरीदी है 4 महीने में last 4 months में, क्योंकि अच्छा टाइम था, discounts भी थे काफी, but in that sense the GST rate cut was that one. Mitanshu, let me start with you on valuations. Firstly, both on what you see of the markets in terms of valuations, and also if you track the SME space in that sense, how you seeing the valuation for both those aspects?
I think, your first question, I brushed upon that. I mean, my blunt answer is that whatever valuations that you see here in India, and because, I track companies across the globe actually, and I invest across the globe. I don't invest only in India. I am very clear that, the valuations are frothy. There is still so much of froth is taken away, but there is still so much of froth.
But is that, sorry to interrupt, but is that across small, large, mid caps, or is it?
No, I am largely talking about small, mid cap. Large caps have more or less been like in tune now actually. But we'll touch upon large cap as well as a closing remark. But coming to the frothiness in the market, and we feel so comfortable giving away 60 times, 70 times. I mean, of late you saw in power sector what happened. People were happy giving away 90 PE actually. I mean, as a student of economics, I don't understand this frankly, and none of us understand, right? That day me and Priyank were discussing. How do you justify what do you mean by 90 ka PE? 90 ka PE means if I'm not growing, if I'm at this stage, मैं next 90 साल का earnings आपको आज दे रहा हूँ. Where am I going to make money? This is not possible. Now, how do you, valuation is always relative, right? I mean, in college we used to look at the girls and say that she is beautiful, she is more beautiful, and probably she is the most beautiful, right? I mean, I have still not got out of that phase, but it's only with the stocks now actually. So, look, I mean, I see companies in Philippines, I see companies in back in Europe somewhere, somewhere in US as well. Similar businesses, scalable businesses, probably with great governance standards actually. Those are available at sub 10 PE. I mean, nobody wanted to look at China couple of years back. I mean, the whole story of China started in terms of valuations only a year and a half back. 10 साल से China market, I mean, most mainstream exchange, the PE was 9.8. I mean, that's what, and nobody wanted to see that. It was written on wall that, sell India, invest China. right? It was, and that's what exactly FIIs did. I mean, the entire money just stashed away from India into the Chinese market actually. Now, this is exactly this is where the depth of market is very important. This is where the understanding, learning of the investor is very, what we do is that, we would just, कोई टिप दे दो यार, कुछ बता दो यार, I mean, so we don't understand, I mean, economics behind it. I mean, कोई भी आपको ऊपर के लेवल पे कुछ भी बेच के चला जाता है, आप ले लेते हो just as a tip based basically. And most of these valuations are absolutely fanatic. Let's take small case and some of the companies within which I'll not gonna name, because some of these companies I'm advising at this point in time, okay? So look at this company and my dialogue with this promoter. So he says that मितांशु भाई एक काम करते हैं, एक और फॉलो ऑन कर देते हैं. मैंने बोला बॉस 72 का पी है. नहीं मैं मिला था कल किसी को बॉम्बे में, उन्होंने बोला इश्यू हो जाएगा. I said, but what is your purpose? Do you need money? Are you putting capex? Are you buying business? Are you adding into capacity, capability? Are you moving to a certain tangent? Why do you need capital? नहीं पैसा ले लेते हैं ना, available है, right? Now this is the mentality in India, and that is why you see so much of IPOs coming in here. I mean, people subscribing to those shitty IPOs, then you're getting the valuations which are very crazy. If you took the statistics today, you will find out that 90% of issuances are below the issue price today. Okay, so valuations are pathetic, valuations are bad. If you want to play it for some reason and you want to play the stock market, it's a long-term game. I'll tell you, it's like a SIP. Okay, you have to, all your risks are front-ended, all your rewards are back-ended. Hamesha. So choose those kind of businesses, choose those kind of companies which are promising in nature. I mean, and those do not have these frothy valuations. कैसे करना है? Leave it to experts like us.
आपने बोला एक of course, and
So, sorry, I'll just add one more line because we are talking valuations. I think what we have got in habit is celebrating on valuations. Nobody is focused on execution. I think that's where the biggest gap is. Because it's like, up toss jeet gaye, we are celebrating as we won the match. Getting listed is like winning the toss. So I think we need to come out of this, and I think it's happening now, but all the headlines are about valuation. So I think we need to now focus on actually the heavy lifting, right? That happens after you raise capital, not before you raise capital.
No, because you mentioned valuations and power companies in 90 Ps. Last 6 months, I think what we've seen with EMS companies and all those counters where we've seen correction because ऊपर revenue दिख रहा था, वो cash flow तो नहीं आ रहा था, and I think that has been the biggest lesson, right, in terms of what we've seen the role of capital markets in the last 4 years, where the companies that did so well, 2021, 22, 3, 4, and now then that since October you're seeing that correction. Mr. Ahmed, let me come to you on valuations of what you see this the current round of valuations in the markets, and do you feel that there's still some time to go in terms of time corrections for the small caps?
Yeah, so over the last few months, definitely the small caps are the ones which have corrected the maximum. But still, I do have reasons to believe that still the small cap majority, I would not say all, there are still pockets wherein good valuations are there. But there are still majority of the small caps are overvalued. And it's basically a euphoria kind of a scenario which now luckily is not there. Maybe 6 months ago that kind of a scenario was there. But even today, if you look at it, for example, I don't want to name the company, just this week there was a company which went in for an IPO. They claim means they must be.
The AI wale ka baat karo.
AI wale ka. 100 ka P. How do you justify that? Okay, AI is the happening thing. I fully appreciate that. But when, as an investor, I am trying to invest in some company, which is on day one, 100 times the PE. I mean, I fail to understand that. And that is where if you look at it, India has about 14 crore unique demat account holders, which means majority of that might just be having the demat accounts. They may not be regular investors at all. So unless and until you have an informed decision-making process wherein you increase the depth of the Indian market in terms of the number of investors per se. So today the number of investors are less than 10% of the entire population of the country. So over the next, say, we are talking about 2047, so till 2047, if you can make 40% of the population as the investors, and not just investors, informed investors. That is where SEBI has been doing a lot of good things. But frankly, what I believe still is it has to be very crisp. If you look at the red herring prospectus of any IPO coming in, no one looks at that. I mean, the sheer size of that. So there has to be some methodology wherein I can take informed decisions, not based on some YouTube channel wherein someone studies that red herring and advises me. But I should be able to spend maybe 1 hour to look at the document and just to take the synopsis of that and then make an informed decision.
So because you mentioned RHP, and for the benefit of our viewers, 3 things that you look at in an RHP? Sorry to put you on the spot, but I had to.
Yeah, so basically transparency is definitely one thing. So the RHP has to be absolutely transparent. That gives me a clear visibility of the management of the company. So if I get a feeling that the management is trying to hide something, that is a clear no-go for me, even if the product is good or the overall pricing is good. For example, IPO like say LG or Hyundai, which was primarily offer for sale, that is something where the foreigners are trying to get out of their investments. So that is something which I would definitely look for. Yeah.
The other biggest factor, and I think Mitanshu did highlight on, was AI as a key aspect, and why the global markets, while they appear cheap, that has been the differentiating factor, right? And I think, there was some highlight on startups also which are coming into this space. But we've seen NVIDIA, we've seen Anthropic, we've seen all those companies come back in focus. Anthropic has not even come out. They've just done an issue at $350 billion in terms of valuation. Do you think that has been the only difference in the last 18 months, that because those AI plays have been in US and listed in those spaces across the world also, some of them, but majority in the US has been the key factor versus India as a valuation factor? And I also come to others for this question, because we've seen so many new companies come in in the internet space, in the AI space. So are you also seeing that, Ms. Parvati, for the SMEs? But let me start off with you and then go across the panel.
Yeah, so if you look at it and give you the perspective on US basically, and then we'll come to the question, is that if you look, there are 11 companies which are greater than $1 trillion market cap in America today. There are another 21 which are above 500 billion, and then there are another 34 which are above 250 billion. Okay, so and just to give the context in that sense, our largest company by market cap is Reliance stroke HDFC, whatever it is, and that is around 250 billion. So 250 billion into 4 makes 1 trillion. 1 trillion into 4 or 5 makes 5 trillion, which is NVIDIA. Okay, so basically NVIDIA is 16 times bigger than Reliance, and when I was in Bay Area Silicon recently, I was fortunate to visit 17 good companies in that area, and I saw the culture and the environment and what's happening and what they are investing into at this point in time. It's way too different. I mean, we may say sitting here that oh, this is all bubble, and AI is going to break down, and this is this and that. I mean, but even at this level, coming on the valuation itself, these companies are not beyond 40 PE. I mean, take out something like Tesla. I mean, for different reason, Tesla is at 240. But if you discount for a moment Tesla, all these companies, I mean, Oracles and Broadcoms and Qualcomms and all of these, I mean, or for that matter, Netflix and all, these are all like around 40, 50 PE. Alphabet is at 34. I mean, Apple is at 40. So there is, and the kind of investments which are going from there into this is way too different into AI, basically. Tomorrow we may ride a wave of this through applications that we'll create on the platforms which are generated. So the question which is getting asked today is, what would be the ROI of all these investments which are being done in America? See, this is a shuffle which has always shook the world right from the Mahabharat times, basically. So if you look at it, there were all the oil companies, then that withered out, basically. Then consumer facing companies came in, like Cokes of the world and all of that, basically. They withered out. Then there was, like, you know, application layer companies which came in by 2000 and that. Now is the company which are going to redefine how the humanity will live, what is going to happen in future. So this is the embedded AI. When you talk about it, we are talking about robotics, we are talking about AI, we are talking about the entire semiconductors which are going to make your life so very easy and simple to live. I mean, you are not going to need so many people, you are not going to need so much of resources, your lives are going to be beautiful, your lives are going to be resourceful, enriching, and you will be able to spend time on what you love to do in life. Actually, this is what American companies are creating. We would have a small pie and piece of it in India by creating an application layer on what they have created, basically. Okay, so not to kind of, you know, get demotivated about being in India. Again, there is a perspective here, actually. I mean, you know, had you been born, like, you know, 3 degrees off the GPS, you would have been probably born in Pakistan or Bangladesh or somewhere, and then you will be not thinking about wealth creation and not the peace, but you will be thinking about how do I survive today, actually, right? So vis-a-vis.
I mean, sorry, but if you would have born in Pakistan, you would lose on Sunday because it's India versus Pakistan on Sunday. But sorry, you are continuing the word. I had to come.
That's my perspective on the thing, actually. So I think in long run, what we are going to see in terms of AI and the entire ramp up on the capital allocation which is happening here, it is a very, very smart capital allocation, and we are all going to get the fruits of this. Okay, today, yesterday, sometimes back, you know, I have my colleague here, and we were working on certain share purchase agreement, and there were a lot of disclosures and stuff like that, and we gave that task to AI, I mean, you know, and we asked them to do this. Otherwise would have taken, like, you know, so many man hours, so many days and things like that. This was really on your table after 4 hours. You give it, you sleep, you come back, your work is done, basically, you know. We are home in US, we see that, you know, there is no human intervention. Everything is absolutely automated, right? So that is what we are talking about, and that is all being now curated, aided by the AI, basically.
So you think that the valuation that they are getting for all of these companies seems to be justified for now, given, and I know there's limited evidence, but in that sense, the difference in returns for US versus India seems to be justified for now because of these companies?
Yes, because US today accounts for 53% of the capital markets, basically, you know, the total 52%, and that is for a reason. We have to all understand in this room that, you know, any one thing which is the smartest on this mother earth is market. Not you, not me, nobody else. Markets are the most intelligent species, right? If markets are a living human being, we'll have to give 10 out of 10 to. And if they are valuing US at 52 time, I mean, you know, so then you have to be sure about it that there is something into it. I have seen it very closely. I'll take 30 seconds on one company. There's a company called Intuitive Surgicals, basically. Though this company makes, you know, robots. They are called Da Vinci robots. They are surgical robots, basically, okay? You may not be aware, but, you know, in all your cities where you stay, these robots have paved their way and they have come into their hospitals, actually. Americans consider surgery through robotics to be more safer than the humans, basically. And that is why these robotics are used in the surgery. This company has a larger market cap than your largest company, which is Reliance. Okay. Why is that company getting that valuation? There is a reason behind it. That is the future. I mean, putting oil in the car is not the future. Thank you.
Parvati, you know, since we are talking about the future and the companies that are coming in, have you started to see IT companies, the tech companies AI related companies in the SME space, is it too early to start having that conversation, or is that already that you feel that they are from the at least the main hubs that we see from Maharashtra, Gujarat, Delhi, a lot of those companies, you mentioned West Bengal as a key aspect of the number of listings that we've seen of SMEs from that state. Are these themes already there?
So not integral to the SME space, because we have cash flow as one of the conditions, we have profitability as one of the conditions. So a lot of tech is not yet there on the SME space. I would say a lot of ancillary companies which work with the larger tech and AI based companies, yes, they do come. Again, I can't help but be, thinking as a regulator here, what we are, when we hear AI or when we hear robotics, it has our antenna, because there are a lot of companies which are actually not AI, which are actually not robotics, but are riding the wave. मतलब बहती गंगा में कौन हाथ नहीं धोना चाहेगा? So we have companies which, are developing chatbots, but they call themselves AI. So what it is basically an SME company helping out a company to develop a chatbot for its customer facing. And if you read the DRHP, it will talk on and on about the future of AI, but that's not an AI company. Similarly, we have companies which are either into robotic parking, not exactly robotic parking, but it is something which is non-manual parking. Or you have companies which manage metallurgy and, precision engineering, which says it is done entirely by robots. But that's basically engineering, that's not robotics. So what we need to be able to do as a regulator is be able to differentiate that, remove the fluff aside, at the heart, what is this? Because that's where I would say investors beware, right? Because that's what happens eventually, that it is packaged as AI or robotics, but in the heart it is not that.
Mr. Krishna Kumar, your take also on this, because we've seen over the last 3 to 4 years, big words being used, fintech, what seems like an old world now, blockchain, AI now. How has your conversation been with companies, with banks in that case, and what would you suggest?
Sir, in respect of actually valuation, as a merchant banker, we feel that any customer coming to us, they will ask the maximum valuation. They don't understand how the valuation can be arrived at. I think this is a major difficulty, challenge we are facing as a merchant banker to get the valuations for that. That is a major difficulty.
Chetan bhai, because we are talking about merchant banking, have you seen these trends already started to play out? And also that since you have been, at NSE at your previous role, what are the segments that you see within SMEs that we should watch out for that we haven't? We've seen that the themes have been changing every year. Last year it was renewable. We've seen the number of listings in renewable in the main board side. But what are some of the key aspects that you are looking at?
So specifically when we talked, I go into your later on question related to valuation, because we had talked much on valuation. So how many people are now looking the MSME companies IPO first of all?
हाथ खड़े कर लो यार, कोई तो होगा. Okay, we are seeing very less hands though.
तो आप देखना चालू करिए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो भी सर ने बताया, ये सब बड़े कंपनियों की बात की है उन्होंने, क्योंकि all larger companies are coming with that 30, 40, 50, 100 companies, 100 PE multiples. SME companies are coming within a range of from a 7 PE multiple to a 15 PE multiples. If you are really want to become an investor in a capital market for a longer term, please start looking SME platform, because it's the same opportunity which in 90s available to Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji or Radhakrishnan Damani ji, where they find MRF, ACC like companies, the same platform is available currently and it is actively working, where companies are coming within a lower PE multiple valuation. I am not talking about a lower, but a reasonable PE multiple where there is an opportunity as an investor. But yes, for a long-term investors, which already Mitanshu ji has talked about, क्योंकि जनरली इन्वेस्टर जो रिटेल पार्टिसिपेट होते हैं उनका एक ही पर्पस होता है कि लिस्टिंग पे मुझे क्या मिलेगा, एंड 90% as a merchant banker for as specifically I say as an SME promoters को जब हम mature करके उसको IPO के लिए prepare करते हैं and we come with a reasonable PE multiple in that particular sector, आप समझिए कि वो particular sector का जो भी industry PE multiple है उसके 50% discount में हम IPO लाते हैं. But somehow the retail public understand the same fashion what they thought about on a bigger IPOs. उनको वही एक philosophy है कि listing के time पे मुझे क्या मिलेगा. So that's the point which I wish to convey. If you really wish to see the good companies with the right kind of valuations, please start looking SME IPOs and become a right investors. And when I say right investors, it means a longer investors, not for a day one on a listing day. Because if you stay long for a SME companies, because these companies और बड़ी कंपनियों में जो डिफरेंस है, आप एक सर ने ये भी बताया था कि क्या पढ़ना चाहिए DRHP के अंदर, तो आप ये पढ़िए कि जितने भी बड़े IPO आ रहे हैं उसमें से 99% IPOs आर कमिंग फॉर एग्जिट ऑफ एग्जिस्टिंग प्रमोटर, यानी प्रमोटर घर पे पैसा लेके जा रहा है. But in SME companies, if you see properly the what is an object of an IPO, they are for a maximum related to expansion, maybe a working capital, and thirdly, if it is required for any other general corporate purpose. So growth momentum की कंपनियां SME प्लेटफॉर्म पे आती है और वो घर पे पैसे नहीं लेके जा रहे हैं. So that is the difference between a main board companies and SME companies. And if you really wish to make your money a bigger money and a right kind of wealth generation, please start looking those DRHPs, because this gives you the right goosebump to make your wealth over a period of time.
The two things which I hope that the investors also see in SME IPOs as challenges is trust, and the other factor is volatility. तो वो दो चीज हटाने के लिए क्या करे ये लोग?
मैं उसको ऐड करने के लिए सेबी ने बहुत अच्छा चीज कर लिया है. क्या मैं आज 2 लाख आपसे मांगूंगा, आप दे दोगे मुझे? अभी नहीं दोगे ना? तो दैट्स द थिंग विच हैड चेंज. आज एक SME IPO में किसी को पैसा डालना है तो उसका मिनिमम लॉट साइज 2 लाख से है. इफ आपको मैं बोलूँगा 2 लाख मेरे IPO में पैसा लगाना है तो क्या एटलीस्ट आप 4 या 5 पेज तो पढ़ोगे ना. बट समहाउ ऑल न्यूज़पेपर में हुंडई का IPO आया था, उसका फर्स्ट रिस्क फैक्टर कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा था यहाँ बैठे हुए में? बिकॉज नोबडी इज रीडिंग. सबको ये कि ग्रे मार्केट में प्रीमियम क्या चलता है. सो इन्वेस्टर्स की थोड़ा डेफिनेशन चेंज करना है हमें. तो रिस्क जो है ना, SME में कोई रिस्क नहीं है. हाँ रिस्क है क्योंकि आप 2 लाख रुपया लगा रहे हो. चांसेस है कि यहाँ पे एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है बिकॉज वो MSME प्रमोटर है. He has started his journey maybe in the year of 2008 or maybe in the year of 2015, but he wants to become a bigger company like a Reliance and Infosys, which Reliance story if I talked in 1970 or 1977, they come with an IPO with an 10 rupees of shares with an Naroda GIDC textile से चालू किया हुआ कंपनी था. उन्होंने भी कैपिटल मार्केट में से पैसा लेके ही इतनी बड़ी कंपनियां बनाई है. तो ये प्लेटफॉर्म का मेन हार्ट भी यही है. वी वांट अ राइट काइंड ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स फॉर अ लॉन्गर टर्म. बट समहाउ द पैचिंग ऑफ एन पब्लिक ये हो चुका है कि लिस्टिंग के दिन मुझे 10% और मिल जाए, 20% और मिल जाए. तो जनरली हमारे लिए चैलेंज ये हो रहा है कि हु आर द इन्वेस्टर्स. तो फॉर अस वी नेवर से रिटेल्स आर आवर इन्वेस्टर्स. वी गो फॉर द राइट काइंड ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स हु स्टे विथ फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. तो somehow what happened, 90% of an SME IPO हमें day 1 पे जो सेलिंग प्रेशर आता है वो अनबेरेबल रहता है. तो that's why the valuation is also attractive, as well as we want our investors who stay back for a longer term. तो मेरे ख्याल से रिटेल को वो ट्रस्ट वाला फैक्टर दूर करना है. तो आज जैसे गोल्ड माइन से मैं आया हूँ, तो हमारे कोई भी IPO में आपको प्रमोटर को मिलना है तो मैं मिला दूंगा आपको. बट आप बोलोगे कि मुकेश अंबानी को मिलना है तो आप नहीं मिल सकते हो. तो दैट्स द डिफरेंस व्हिच वी आर कैरिंग इन SME प्लेटफॉर्म. करेक्ट?
Sorry, I'm not very well versed with the regulation, but 2 lakh investment that Chetan Bhai highlighted in the SME IPO, do you think that as a regulation is here to stay? And I'm sure the others also can comment on this, because I'm definitely not well versed in this, but any comment on that?
I think the rationale behind getting the 2 lakh was the exuberance which we saw in 2024. So again, as a platform, this is not meant for the average retail investor. As a regulator, if you were to look at the thought process of SEBI and Finance Ministry overall, if you see the steps which they've taken for curbing F&O, so basically there has to be some element of, right fit. Are retail investors really meant to be playing in F&O? I don't think so, because they don't understand the risks which come with that. Same case for SME as well. So back in 2024, the situation was such that anyone and everyone could bring their IPO and it could get subscriptions of 200, 300, 400 times, which is not the right thing, right? So that was the rationale behind introducing the higher lot size, basically to say that please be aware that only those investors who have the stomach to set aside 2 lakh for each single trade and also trade every time in multiples of 2 lakh. So which means what is your corpus? This probably would not be the core of your corpus. As an investor, you would want to start aside by a small allocation towards this, have that stomach that this is going to be, a long-term growth story, as what Chetan Bhai said. The listing gain greediness is basically because there was a trend. Ideally, what we've seen, if you were to look at the stocks which are performing today, it's the ones which listed in 2021-22. So market cap at listing is about 800 crores. Market cap today is about 1,500, 2,000 crores. So you need that 3-year journey to see the market cap of that stock going. That's not going to happen on listing day versus the next day. So that has to be there. So the 2 lakh, as far as what we understand from our discussion with regulator is likely to stay.
You were holding the mic, you wanted to comment?
Yeah, I just want to come in. So I think what he said, right, 2 lakh ka ticket size. We need to be mindful that India ka per capita GDP is $2,800. That is 2,35,000 is an annual income. So that appetite is not there for people. What if they lose that 2 lakh rupees, right? So I think मैंने बहुत टाइम पहले एक वीडियो देखा था जहाँ पे झुनझुन वाला जी बोल रहे थे कि मार्केट में जैसे पता चलता है मैंने पैसा लगाया सब लोग कूद जाते हैं. What they don't understand is if I burn this money मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. लेकिन if you lose that 2 lakhs, your entire year saving is gone, right? So I think we need to be mindful of that also. And as you rightly said, I think that is what we have been discussing. Trust and governance. I think everything, and you can make all the kind of regulations. In fact, regulator has been doing a brilliant job. At least I am academically also involved, so I teach fintech. और fintech में पढ़ाते मुझे जो समझ में आया कि SEBI है, RBI, they are doing fantastic job. They have set up separate committees for innovation hub. They are doing so many things, right? And they have been very conservative in terms of allowing new age companies to enter because they are mindful कि India का जो investor है वो mature नहीं है, ठीक है? So point being that we need to look at it from that context. And second, as I said, right, we need depth. So आज हमारा सब retail से drive हो रहा है. I think the last number that I saw is 28-30 हज़ार करोड़ रुपए आपका SIP से आ रहा है हर महीने, right? That's a flight capital क्योंकि अगर एक downturn आया, everybody will go for redemptions, right? US में pension funds है, long term capital है, right? So those kind of things have to come here also for these, because see the companies that are listing even at this stage, right? Nobody has the vision to stay for 15, 20, 30 years. And one interesting fact that I came across, I think many years ago, was that Warren Buffett, right, the greatest investor of all time, I think his 95% of the wealth came after 60 years of age. So just for a perspective, right? So we are so myopic in our approach in everything कि कल क्या मिल जाएगा, right?
One more thing I would like to add. As you said, SME IPO में जब invest करना है तो there should be a long term perspective. अभी तक वो trend जो देखने में आया है when company is launching for an IPO, 10-20% प्राइस अप जाता है, उसके बाद डाउन जाके 3 साल तक वो स्टेबल हो जाता है. When we are going for main board, तब उसका एग्जिट प्लान प्रॉपरली हो सकता है. तो दैट इज एडवाइस फॉर रिटेल इन्वेस्टर कि 3 से 4 साल का प्लान हो जिसका इन्वेस्टमेंट का, दोज हु शुड इन्वेस्ट इन SME IPOs.
The other one quick question, one follow-up to you is what the specific state governments are doing in these states, because we've seen multiple measures from government of Maharashtra, government of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and all those also that are helping boost a lot of easing regulations, doing ease of business, so that these companies can come through to the IPO. Anything that you can add on that for what's happening here in Gujarat as well?
Certainly, see, government of Gujarat is working amazingly in startup ecosystem. Presently, they have started iHub company and they are nourishing a lot of startups. There are almost 140,000 startups registered in DPIT. So that startups are going to be SME IPOs and then it will be goes to the main board IPO. There are a lot of grants are available. State government grant is there, central government grant is there. So proper advisory to SME sector is essential at this juncture. So I must say that government is, as far as concerned government of Gujarat, it is proactive to nourish the new businesses.
So we have discussed, as role of capital markets, that the companies have to, the number of companies that have to increase. We also discussed about how that can happen through SMEs. We've discussed what new sectors have been coming in, what the retail investors also have to do. So we've discussed quite a bit in the last hour or so, but I just want to open it up to the audience if you have any questions as well, because there have been multiple things that we've been discussing. So if we can get a mic around and have those questions as well, because I'm pretty sure we can find a lot of discussion points apart from this as well, but I want to hear it from the audience also, because we've gotten some perspective from merchant bankers of what the challenges is from SMEs. We've got perspective from what are the strategic investors looking at in companies when they're investing, of course, from the regulator. So there's been a lot that has been discussed, but if you can show hands, there is one in the first, so a lot of questions, so that's good. So if you can pass on the mic to the gentleman in the front desk, first desk, and get his question as well, and you can ask the questions to anybody. So please raise your hand, introduce yourself, and then ask the question.
Good afternoon. My name is Suresh. I'm an independent director with Angel One AMC. We spoke about trust, and one of the participants spoke about urging investors to look at the SMEs. We have merchant bankers, we have the exchange on the dais. My question is more around, and Mr. Apte alluded, what he would look at in an RHP, purpose for which the funds will be used. Question to the merchant bankers and to the exchange as quasi-regulators is, we've had about half a dozen cases of SMEs running away with the money. We had the unique case of Traffic Sol where money was unprecedented, was actually refunded to the investors. Recently, SEBI has come up with tightening the regulations more as a reactive step with due respect to the regulator. But as merchant bankers, and interestingly, I think we have two exchanges, probably the half a dozen cases did not happen on NSE. Okay. Are exchanges as frontline quasi-regulators doing enough in filtering companies and ensuring that, a few black sheep don't paint the SME sector red to say, Kavi Temtor, somebody spoke about buyers beware. SME is, beware of them before you put your money. So we have a couple of merchant bankers also. Are merchant bankers doing their job enough? And as exchanges, or let me put it more positively, what more do exchanges and merchant bankers have to do to increase the trust factor in the investor's perspective to ensure that these few black sheep don't, spoil the party?
Well, that's a great question. If you want to start off, exchange first, I think that's the biggest endorsement that NSE has gotten in this public forum. Ki NSE mein to kuch nahi ho raha, but if you want to respond to that, and then we'll get to the merchant banker view as well.
So I think few things which I'd like to share here. First is even the Traffic Sol IPO, sir, I think did see subscriptions of about 600 to 800 times. The same is the case with the Yamaha dealer, as you said. So as much as I would appreciate the question that what are the regulators doing, I think I need to counter this question with another question is what are the investors doing, right? That's exactly what we said about reading the DRHP. So from a regulator's perspective, let me address the DRHP first. So SEBI has done a wonderful step, which is introduction of a summary of the DRHP. See, it's very practical. If a DRHP is going to be 400 pages, I myself as an individual wouldn't want to read it. Though I would say that in the entire process, I think it's the merchant banker and the exchange, if you ask, is the one who reads it from page 1 to page end, right? No one else in the entire process is reading.
Can I just butt in?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Probably in all the 6 cases, and adding to what Mr. Apte mentioned, the primary issue that came up was that funds were diverted. They were
Yeah,
used
so
for
I'm coming
purposes
to that.
other than
Yes,
intended. So
yes.
you can't really blame the investor there.
No, no. So I'm coming to that. The point is that in terms of how post-listing, if you were to look at post-listing, what can we do? So it's post-traffic sol is where the post-listing requirements have been tightened with the introduction of a certificate, kind of an end-use certificate, or what is the use of funds certificate. In the entire approval process at NSE, we've tightened it. We now do site inspections. So we go and actually see whatever is claimed is actually done or not. Again, I think one of the things which we've also introduced is kind of a track record mechanism, that the track record of each merchant banker is there to show. SEBI has again introduced a concept which is called as a repository, which basically is that all the documents which the merchant banker has relied upon for doing the vetting of the analysis of the DRHP is deposited in that repository. There's of course inspections which go on. So in terms of, if I were to look at it, this is again an evolving mechanism. Capital markets itself is a 30-year-old story, right? For all practical purposes, the reality of capital markets, if you look at since inception of NSE, the screen-based trading and the volumes in the capital markets is a 30-year-old market. It's not a very old market, unlike banking, which is a 200, 300-year-old market. Lending has been there since times, right? So capital markets is a newer market, within which SME is an even more newer market. So we are learning along the way. So yes, there will be checks and balance. The second thing also, I think one of the things which I'd like to share here is that accidents do happen. So every time for every 100, IPOs, there will be the 2 or 3. Unfortunately, media loves negative news. So that's what happens, is that the entire market gets painted with the 2 black sheep. But just like, when there is an accident, we don't stop driving, right? It's always said, you always wear your seatbelt. So it's always investor beware. Yes, regulators are doing their job, but then are you saying that we are perfect? It's after a few accidents happen is when the regulators are questioned. The 99 good ones which happen, right? That's business as usual. We know that's
I think the regulations that have come in now for SMEs, I think that's the biggest change. But if you have a question, a response on the merchant banking side.
So as a merchant banker side, the valuation is not under the purview of SEBI or a regulator. That's the first point. And secondly, its valuation is a relative term. Let's say somebody is ready to pay for this bottle 100 rupees and you are in a desert. So it's a fine. People are ready to give it, correct? So valuation is a different topic, and based on the relevancy of that, the merchant bankers select the IPO and do the IPO. Secondly, the due diligence part, yes, merchant banker are responsible for that draft ready and prospectus, जो गंगा नहाना बोला जाता है, जो 400 पेज का बनता है, उसके अंदर से एक भी सेंटेंस में कुछ भी इधर उधर होता है, तो they are held responsible for that. They cannot deviate or say that I had not raided that particular point. So that's the responsibility as a merchant banker which we carry for any company's IPO. Thirdly, people are not tense to read. Once again, I repeat that particular point as a risk factor. Hyundai का IPO का risk factor का पहला risk factor पड़ा होता, तो उनका net margin 8% है, 2% उन्होंने लिखा हुआ था कि we will give the royalty to 2% to my holding company. अभी 6% के अंदर उसको पूरा धंधा चलाना है, फिर भी इंडिया के हर पॉपुलेशन के लोगों ने पैसा डाला उसके अंदर. क्यों? कि मुझे उसमें लॉन्ग टर्म में मुझे लिस्टिंग गेन करना था. यही फिलोसफी, लेट्स से इफ यू आर अप्लाइंग फॉर एन SME IPO, you will not sustain for a longer term as an investor in SME. SME, you have to understand the risk. SME, you understand the object of the IPO. Third, implementation, because every 6 months they are held responsible to give the books and financials on a public domain, not like all main board companies, larger companies only quarterly. तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा टाइम पीरियड रहता है रेगुलेटर को भी कि 6 महीने के बाद हमें अपडेट मिलता है इफ आई एम अ रेगुलेटर, क्वासी रेगुलेटर, और एज ए मर्चेंट बैंकर मुझे भी 6 मंथ्स के बाद ही चीजें पता चलेगी कि भाई क्या चल रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई द SEBI had came with a circular in a March 24. They asked any SME IPO, if it is less than 50 crore, they have to appoint a chartered accountant to certify where the money has been used. Then above 50 crore, they have to appoint a rating agency where the money has been used, which is not there earlier before March 24. So accidents gives the learning to the quasi regulator कि ये भी करना पड़ेगा SME के अंदर, because we cannot judge the next to person what he will do after 2 days or 3 days after, because end of the day it's a public money. We make tenants understand, we make understand the promoter कि it's a public money, it's a high duty for you where you use this particular money, correct? Secondly, SEBI had come with that general corporate purpose in a main board, it is 25%, it is reduced to 15% here. So you understand that there are all screw was tightened by the regulators, and they relook and look. But as an investor, if I invest blindly, yes, there are chances of getting the accidents are there. But subject to, not every MSME companies are coming with that kind of IPO or that kind of mindset that they do not want to grow further, because at end of the day, any MSME companies are coming, they for an expansion, growth, or maybe to mitigate their current working capital requirement, which they are not able to fulfill from the current arrangement which is available in a public domain, correct? So debt syndication और ये जो बड़ी बड़ी बातें हैं, आज बड़े corporates के लिए बहुत easy है कि they can bring the money at any point of time by just pledging their shares, but for an MSME promoters it is very difficult. So that's why this model has started to give the one more opportunity to these MSME companies to become a larger corporate.
Sorry, just 30 seconds. I have to take a couple of questions, but you go ahead. You have something to add. Yeah.
So, some clients of mine are listed SME, and recently, I was in markets, I was in meeting lot of funds that, let me create a better cap table for these guys. And what I found out was starkly different. None of the mutual fund, even these ones which have recently been, they were not wanting to look at SME. I said that great governance, promoter managed, professionally kind of, driven organization, look at this 35-40% EBITDA, this, bole nahi sab, SME hai na to nahi dekhna hai. So now what is a clue from here? If mutual fund has no wherewithal to sort of, get and study and understand and make a mind that I can invest into this, for you and me, who are novices, I think SME still remains a far-fetched dream actually.
So a couple of questions which I thought, okay, can we get the mic in the front again? And quick questions, and I'll ask just one panelist to respond if that's okay, because I want to take a lot more in the next few minutes before we wrap up.
Hi, CMX City from Alembic Pharmaceutical. I would like to ask question to Mr. Mitanshu sir. So, how would this US and Russia LPG deal impact on capital market or commodity market?
Gold has been the biggest. Yeah, we did. Thank you for the question, because there was a lot of conversation of gold, silver, copper, any metal at this point of time, but go ahead.
Yeah, so look, do not get into or swayed away by whatever comes in the newspaper when you wake up in morning or what you read, because you have to understand that both these gentlemen, they don't have control on themselves. Now, how could you have control? Because you spoke two guys, right? Here, both of them, they are fanatics and they just, there is no semblance of order, simple as that. But look, I think one thing is getting very much aligned across the globe is that people have started understanding that if there is no cohesive environment to do businesses, we are all suffering a lot. I think Trump did little nice things to understand that, we have to save our backyard, we have to become self-sufficient, and that message has reached very well. Beautiful, nice things to happen actually. But do not read into these news items daily and what's happening. You have to be, if this is meant for a stock market query, that, you know, I will discount it 110% actually, because look how wavy is my mind. How wavy is my mind is that today I will say that you have 25% tariff embargo. Next day morning, something happens. My chai was little hot and I burnt my tongue. I'm gonna come and tell you that no, now it is 75%. Okay, so there is absolutely chaotic environment under this leadership that you are looking at. So just don't. If you are a long-term capital allocator, I would say that look at great countries, great companies within those countries, and invest it for very, very long time actually. And just stay put, stay invested. I mean, you know, और अगर कुछ भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है ना, तो इंडिया में काफी लोग हैं जो अच्छा मल्टी एसेट स्ट्रेटेजी चला रहे हैं. Just put that money into multi-asset strategy here or world across, then you can sleep. You don't have to think about all these news items. See the beautiful birds chirping. I mean, you know, the environment, the flowers blossoming. I mean, there are so many good things to do in life. I mean, you know, rather than to follow these stupid people on earth.
So I have already gotten the anchor on stage. So one last question to the person in the red, piche or beach mein, if you can get that last question. I want to take a lot more, but because of paucity of time, I can take only one more. So in the middle, yes, if you can go ahead with your question.
Hi, I'm Priyanka. My question is to, I'm so sorry, I don't remember the sir's name next to Mitanshu sir. Hi. So my question was that, a young investor here, sir, you motivated us to invest in small SMEs and, you know, to look for it. You would even introduce us to some of the promoters you mentioned, if in case we would need it. Sir, if you can give 5 crisp points to look after the valuation of the small companies that we would be keen to be invested in. 5 crisp points, if any.
मैंने बोला था कि it's a very relative terms to identify the valuation, but whenever you see any company to come for an IPO, any investor, आप बैठ जाइए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, but any company, if you look for as an investment, you have to understand first of all in which sector it is coming, whether that sector का इंडस्ट्रियल पीई मल्टीपल, बिकॉज अभी इंडिया के अंदर बहुत अच्छा डेटाबेस है कि आप गूगल करो, बहुत सारे वेबसाइट्स अवेलेबल है, स्क्रीनर है, तिजोरी है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जहाँ पे जाके आप इंडस्ट्री एंड सेक्टर को पढ़ सकते हो. यू हैव टू बी मोर इन अ डेटा क्रंचिंग पॉइंट एज एन इन्वेस्टर, थोड़ा स्टडी करना चाहिए. And then see that whether that industry is coming on this PE multiple and trading on this in the industry. What is meaning of industry means, let's say if I talk about auto industry, तो auto का जितनी भी टॉप नॉच कंपनियां जो निफ्टी 50 में या निफ्टी 100 में है, उसका एक PE मल्टीपल लेट्स से 24 है. मारुति 32 पे ट्रेड कर रहा है, यानी 1 रुपीज के सामने 32 का वैल्यूएशन है. और लेट्स से कोई एक एसएमई कंपनी जो ऑटो पार्ट्स के अंदर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है, जो मैं या मेरे जैसे कोई भी मर्चेंट बैंकर इसका आईपीओ लेके आ रहा है, तो वो कौन से पीई मल्टीपल पे ये कंपनी का आईपीओ लेके आ रहा है. तो यू हैव टू स्टडी दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्ट. सेकेंडली, इफ आई से व्हाट इज एन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द आईपीओ, वेयर दिस मनी हैज बीन गॉन, ये पैसा लेके जा कर रहा है, विद प्रमोटर खुद के लिए यूज कर रहा है. तो 99% इन एसएमई आईपीओ ये नहीं होता है, ज्यादातर एक्सपेंशन प्लान होता है. तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वेदर इट इज अ कैपेक्स एक्सपेंस, so whether that capex expense is completed within a 1 year or a 2 year. Thirdly, if you understand object very well, there are n number of companies which we listed on a SME platform on NSE, where they came with an IPO of an 8 crore. Currently those companies are traded at 1000 crore of market cap. यही SME कंपनी है. तो आपने तो गवाया है वेल्थ क्रिएशन का एक अपॉर्चुनिटी, बट अब ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आपके लिए है, तो स्टडी करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बड़ौदा से भी बहुत अच्छी अच्छी कंपनियां हम लेके आए हैं, जिसकी कंपनियों ने 800 करोड़ 900 करोड़ का भी मार्केट कैप अचीव कर लिया है. वी हैव टू स्टडी थर्ड पार्ट. ऑब्जेक्ट आपने पढ़ लिया, क्या ऑब्जेक्ट है, कहाँ पे है. देन प्लीज रीड रिस्क फैक्टर्स. इफ यू रीडिंग द रिस्क फैक्टर्स, कंपनी कहाँ पे, बिकॉज देयर इज वन कंपनी विच वी लिस्टेड फ्रॉम अहमदाबाद. The merchant banker has very smartly drafted one clause on a first risk factor that this company has given a a bank guarantee to a very bigger company, which is in one of the group company of that. If this exercise, then this company has a loss. As an exchange and regulator, we have to give the permission because he has not disclosed jaisa hai nahi. He has said everything in the risk factor. And then also people had invested in that company. So understand the risk factors. एटलीस्ट नहीं बाबा पढ़ना है तो पेपर में जो 2 पेज आते हैं जो हम लोग खर्चा करवाते हैं प्रमोटर से, वो पढ़ लीजिए. Then also you get to know what exactly these companies are coming and what are the risk factor. And 4th and 5th point, if I say, then go for the promoter chapter, read what is the background of a promoter. Let's say sometimes exchanges also reject DRHP on the basis of what is an experience of a promoter. If somebody is not from that particular field and he is running, so then they go for the major experience, let's say 10-15 years of experience, then only they allow that kind of a promoter to be a promoter of a company. And thirdly, just read the pre-IPO part because generally people are not understand that particular figure. But if you read that pre-IPO point, which is a before an IPO, whether the company has raised the fund, so whether it is a purpose, what is the purpose of that particular fund, and how the valuation will be done at the time of IPO, and what is the gap between both the things, that is also very much important for you. These are the major 5 pointers. As a merchant banker, I also look into the any DHP which I read. So.
Got it. Well, firstly, and because of paucity time, we couldn't take more questions, but thank you so much to all our panelists. Please, a big round of applause to all of them. It's been a great session across multiple topics that we were able to touch in these, and we've gone way over time, but thank you so much to Meerbhai, thank you so much to Mohit and everybody, and you guys have been a lovely audience. Thank you so much for helping us with your questions and your interest. But that's a wrap on this edition. A lot more coming up, I'm sure, but thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. What an insightful and forward-looking session this has been. I would request everyone to give a big round of applause for our panelists and our moderator. Today's discussion on India Rising, Capital Market for Vishwaguru Future has clearly reinforced one powerful message. India's growth story is strong, structured, and unstoppable, and our capital markets are at the heart of this transformation.
As cost and management accountants, we are not just observers of this growth. We are contributors, strategists, and nation builders in this journey towards becoming a Vishwaguru.
I would now request CMA Priyank Vyas sir, Vice Chairman and immediate past Chairman of ICMAI Baroda chapter, to announce a formal vote of thanks for this session.
Thank you, Monish Bhai. Good afternoon, all of you. On behalf of WRC ICMAI, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for making technical session India Rising Capital Market for Vishwaguru Future grand success. I sincerely thankful to all esteemed panelists for sharing their valuable expertise, practical perspective, for insight on SME listing, merchant banking, governance, regulatory framework, and strategic advisory have enriched our understanding for the evolving capital market landscape. A special word for appreciation to our moderator, Sri Puneet Javeri, for sharing their discussion for clarity, energy making for both and engaging and informative. With sincere appreciation to everyone involved, I conclude this session. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
This concludes our 4th technical session of this 2 days members convention. With this, we would now be continuing with our, I'll say, valedictory session. Before that, we have some, I'll say, short programs to be completed. I would request CMA Mir sir to felicitate Mr. Devan Shah, National Policy Team, and is a policy consultant and Office of Member of Parliament.
Hello. A very good afternoon, everyone. I'm afraid I've been put on the spot by Mihir Bhai because I was not aware I had to come on stage and talk to all of you. But it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you so much to Mihir Bhai and the entire CME team for organizing such a wonderful conference. I've been in the audience listening to what all has been said about the budget and Vishwaguru Bharat, and a lot has been said already. I don't think it warrants anything more from my end. I'd just like to say one thing before I step off the stage. A lot of eyes today were on the idea of what India is going to look towards in the future. We had a couple of questions about how everything that's going on abroad with tariffs and everything is going to affect the commodities market in India. I'd like to say, as a policy consultant, my job is very similar to all of you. As CMAs, you try to find the truth hidden in numbers. As policy consultants, we try to find the truth hidden in speeches. So I relate to all of you when you work in that sense. And everything that has been happening over the ages, last 30 days is what I want all of us to take into consideration, where the US tried to rattle our markets and batter our investor confidence with tariffs and whatnot. Then came the Republic Day, where we had the European Union coming as our chief guest. Ursula herself said that India and EU locked in the mother of all deals. It's not a coincidence that US came back to the negotiating table within 5 days of that deal being finalized. You see, the world order is being changed, and India now no longer sits in the audience when it comes to a global economic planning. It's a load-bearing nation now. It takes charge over there. So to all the CMAs sitting over here who had a little bit of worries in that sense, the only thing I'd like to say is the golden period is now beginning. We're seeing a huge change coming into the markets. As auditors yourself, you've always been told that you're auditors to the country. Now you're no longer auditors, you're corporate mitras. You are going to be helping tier 2 and tier 3 MSMEs today, helping them build brands and become into companies that might be global one day. This is the idea, that MSME no longer remains something that has to be seen in the background. With that, I'd like to conclude all I have to say, and thank you, Mihir Bhai, once again, and the entire Baroda chapter team and the Western region team for organizing such a wonderful conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. I would now like to request Progressive Infotech Teleprime to come on the dais for their presentation.
Good afternoon. So, my name is Sanjay. I'm actually from Tally Solutions. Can I have the console, please? I'm from Bombay, and thank you so much, ICMAI, for giving us this opportunity. But before I start, I really love the theme. I want to give kudos to the team who has created this wonderful theme. So, आप में से वडोदरा से कितने लोग हैं? काफ़ी सारे लोग हैं, ठीक है? So, just a small question. What was the GDP of Vadodara in 1995? बहुत कम होगा. What was the GDP of Gujarat in 1995? Okay. What is the GDP of Vadodara in 2025? It is very much connected to the theme जो हम लोग अभी यहाँ पे सुबह से देख रहे हैं, मैं भी शायद कल से देख रहे होंगे. ओके, लेट मी जस्ट कट शॉर्ट. 1995 में गुजरात का जीडीपी था करीबन $8 billion, $8 billion. And you know what was the GDP ended in Vadodara in 2025? It was $9 billion. तो in the last 25-30 years, वडोदरा ने ही एक अपने आप में गुजरात ऐड कर दिया है. Don't you think it requires a round of applause? देखिए, अगर हमें आगे बढ़ना है और आगे जाना है ना, तो इन सब चीज़ों से एक्चुअली मैं तो बहुत लेमैन हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये हमेशा देखता रहता हूँ कि कौन सा बिजनेस जो है उसका टर्नओवर कितना है. तो जो इंडिया INC है, इसका जीडीपी जो है, यानी उसका जो उसका टर्नओवर है वो कैसा हो रहा है, और उसके जो कॉम्पोनेंट्स है, स्टेट्स, जो इंपॉर्टेंट सिटीज़ है, उनका टर्नओवर कैसा चल रहा है. ओके, सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि अगर हमें विश्व गुरु बनना है, ओके, बाय ईयर 2047, जिससे पहले ही शायद हम लोग बन जाएंगे, बिकॉज जो टाइम हमें 25 साल लगा करने के लिए, अभी आने वाले टाइम में हम शायद उसको
5 साल में ही कर लेंगे, बिकॉज 10 नंबर से 4 नंबर आने में हमें केवल 10-12 साल ही लगे. ओके, अब 4 से 3 और फिर 2 और मे बी 1 पे पहुंचने में हमें उतना टाइम नहीं लगने वाला है. आई एम हियर टू शोकेस यू समथिंग विच इज देयर इन टैली प्राइम, जो आप बहुत सारे लोगों यहाँ पे टैली यूज करते होंगे और यूज किया होगा, बट इन द लास्ट few years we have come a very long way in tally in terms of providing the solutions and things. So tally is been used by almost 3 million people, और उन्होंने multiple businesses incorporate किया हुआ है, so it has come to 5 million. So before 2020, so tally was a mere accounting software, और मेरे ख्याल से बहुत सारे लोग अभी भी उसको उसी तरीके से यूज कर रहे हैं. But from the 2020 onwards, we have started building tally as if it is a full-fledged business solution which is connected to the environment around us. So connected banking, then connected GST, communication में we connected directly with the WhatsApp. Okay, and then connected payments में we have connected with lot of banks like SBI, which is the largest retail bank in India, Axis, Kotak, and then so many other banks. We have also collaborated with AWS to give the cloud access to our users. We have also collaborated with Oracle Cloud Solutions to give the access to our users on cloud. तो यानी कि आपको अब टैली चलाने के लिए ऑफिस में बैठने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, here to showcase you some of the important features which we have recently launched in the Tally Prime 7.0. So one is the one small thing that is Smart Find. I will not talk much about this. आपको टैली के अंदर अगर कुछ भी फाइंड करना है, okay, so you can just simply use this find button and type anything whatever you are looking for. करना है show me transactions more than 5,000 और show me and or की combination. So ये सब जो है आप यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं. So now it is available on the top of your tally screen. Okay, we have also integrated, as I said, we have connected the tally with your banks. Okay, so उसका एक छोटा सा example मैंने यहाँ पे use किया है. We have connected with seamlessly Kotak, Axis and SBI, ICICI, HDFC, Bank of Baroda. They are all in the pipeline. So इसका मतलब क्या है कि आप टैली में बैठे बैठे आपका स्टेटमेंट चेक आपका बैलेंस चेक कर सकते हैं. आप ये चेक कर सकते हैं कि आपका बैलेंस कितना है. प्लस द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज यू डोंट हैव टू जगल बिटवीन टैली टू योर नेट बैंकिंग और टू योर फोन बैंकिंग फॉर मेकिंग द पेमेंट्स, क्योंकि आपका बैंकिंग अलग होता है, अकाउंटिंग अलग होता है. बट नाउ विद दिस पर्टिकुलर रिलीज 7.0 आप टैली में ही पेमेंट एंट्री पास करिए, आपको एक OTP आ जाएगा और उस OTP को आप एंटर करिए और आपकी पेमेंट आपके वेंडर को सामने चली जाएगी. ओके, सो दिस वी हैव इंटीग्रेटेड. आई हैव अ स्मॉल वीडियो. आई विल नॉट यूज दिस एज ऑफ नाउ फॉर द शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम. नाउ द इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कि आपने जो पेमेंट किया है आपके इन्फॉर्म किए बिना ही सिस्टम से आपके वेंडर को एक मेल चला जाएगा. उसका जो मैंने एक कटआउट है आपके स्क्रीन पे आपको दिख रहा होगा, तो उनको ये पता चल जाएगा कि आपने किस बिल के सामने उनको पेमेंट किया है, एंड इट विल गो ऑटोमेटिकली विदाउट योर इंटरवेंशन. आपको बताने की जरूरत ही नहीं है और पेमेंट जो है उनको ऑटोमेटिकली चला जाएगा. ओके, इफ यू आर यूजिंग दी इंटीग्रेटेड बैंकिंग, एंड इट्स वेरी वेरी सिंपल टू इंटीग्रेटेड एंड इट इज एब्सोल्युटली फ्री. कोई इसके स्पेशल चार्जेस वगैरह नहीं है. ओके, so these are the some of the banks that are connected here. One very important thing which I want to talk about is the Bharat Connect. बहुत सारे लोगों को ये जो आपको लोगो है वो कहीं ना कहीं देखा होगा आप लोगों ने. यहाँ पे Amazon कितने लोग यूज करते हैं? ओके, बिल पेमेंट के लिए आपने कभी कोई अगर सर्विसेज यूज किया होगा, जैसे गूगल पे है या फिर क्रेड है या फिर इस तरह के कोई एप्लीकेशन, वहां पे आपको ये लोगो दिखाई देता होगा. ओके, सो दिस लोगो, एनीबडी नोज हु क्रिएटेड दिस भारत कनेक्ट? मेरी जो सेल्स है उसकी परचेज बन रही है, उसी से परचेज से वो पेमेंट करने वाला है, वही पेमेंट मेरी रिसीट बन जाएगी. करेक्ट? एब्सोल्युटली यही होता है कि दूसरा कुछ होता है? यही होता है ना. सो अब भारत कनेक्ट से क्या होगा कि आपका जो ट्रांजैक्शन है, अब यहाँ पे मैंने एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लिया है, नेशनल एंटरप्राइज एंड प्राइम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स. ठीक है, मेरे पास इसका वीडियो भी है विच आई विल नॉट प्ले. थोड़ा सा इट विल टेक 5 minutes टू रन द वीडियो. आई एम जस्ट शोइंग यू दी डिटेल्स कि नेशनल इंटरप्राइज ने बिल भेजा सामने वाले को, उसको सिस्टम से ही बिल चला जाएगा। आप व्हाट्सएप करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ईमेल करने की जरूरत नहीं है। कई बार डिलीवरी होने के बाद जब हम पैसे मांगते हैं 15 दिन बाद, तो बताते हैं अरे बिल तो मिला ही नहीं आपका तो इनवॉइस आया ही नहीं था हमारे पास। फिर हम उनको फिर से एक इनवॉइस जो बना हुआ रहता है वो भेजते हैं। ओके, सो नाउ द मोमेंट यू जनरेट एन इनवॉइस, अ मैसेज विल गो and it will sit reside in their system. Okay, अब वो टैली यूज कर रहे हैं तो it will be very easy for us to locate कि कहाँ पर है वो, and if they are using any other application तो उसके अंदर भी कहीं ना कहीं ये उनका एक मेन्यू होगा भारत कनेक्ट का, और जहाँ पे ये उनको दिख जाएगा। ठीक है, सो जैसे ही उन्होंने इनवॉइस वहाँ पे एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, उनको यहाँ पे पता चल जाएगा कि मेरी सेल्स एंट्री वहाँ पे प्रॉपरली हो गई है, यानी जो मैंने बिल भेजा सामने वाले ने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है। और द मोमेंट ही विल मेक अ पेमेंट, तो मुझे यहाँ पे पता चल जाएगा कि उन्होंने अपने सिस्टम में, भले ही वो 15 दिन बाद हो, मुझे अपने सिस्टम में ये पता चल जाएगा कि उन्होंने मेरे यहाँ पे पेमेंट एंट्री कर दी है, और उस पेमेंट एंट्री से मेरे एंड पे रिसीट एंट्री ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाएगी, और मेरा जो सेल्स ट्रांजैक्शन है वो कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। तो ये जो पूरा साइकिल है, दिस हैपेंस डिजिटली, एंड दैट वाज क्रिएटेड बाय NPCI वाया भारत कनेक्ट। ओके, सो दैट सेव्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम। और जैसे ही आपने आपके एंड पे रिसीट एंट्री पास करी, सामने वाले को एक मैसेज चला जाएगा कि आपका जो पेमेंट है वो कंफर्म हो गया है, एंड द एंटायर इनवॉइस इज क्लोज्ड। तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे आपके क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं कि मैंने अपने सेल्स एंट्री में XYZ आइटम लिखा, सामने वाले ने X + Y + Z+ लिखा। ओके, तो वो सारे जो चैलेंजेस है वो सिस्टम और AI जो है वो कर रहे हैं। ओके, हमें बस खाली सिस्टम को यूज करना है। ओके, एंड दिस सिस्टम इज ऑल्सो एब्सोल्युटली फ्री। इफ यू आर यूजिंग इट, इट इज वंडरफुल, बट मुझे ऐसा लग नहीं रहा है क्योंकि आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम नहीं सुना है, तो यूज करने की बात थोड़ी दूर हो जाती है। बट सिंस यू आर हियर, अब आपको पता है व्हाट इज भारत कनेक्ट एंड व्हाट इट इज डूइंग टू द बिजनेस। तो जब भी आप आपके क्लाइंट से बात करें, उनको इस सोल्यूशन के बारे में जरूर बताएं। परचेज एंट्री आपका जो होता है, मान लीजिए आपके पास एक सेल्स बिल आया, अब वो सेल्स बिल आपकी पार्टी ने दिया, अब उसके अंदर 25 लाइन आइटम है, आपको वो एंट्री करने में मैन्युअली करना पड़ता है, आपका कम से कम 20-25 मिनट चला जाएगा। यहाँ पे वो 1 सेकेंड में वो एंट्री हो जाती है, आपको बस खाली एंटर करना है और कंट्रोल ए करके सेव कर देना है। ओके, सो एक छोटा सा वीडियो है विच आई विल नॉट प्ले। वी हैव ऑल्सो इंट्रोड्यूस वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, टैली ड्राइव, क्योंकि अब बहुत सारी चीजें जो है कनेक्टेड इन्वायरमेंट में हम काम कर रहे हैं, डिजिटल में काम कर रहे हैं, तो रैंसम अटैक, ये वो जो चीजें हैं ये सब बहुत होती रहती है। तो उसको हमने सॉल्व करने के लिए क्या किया, वी हैव क्रिएटेड अ टैली ड्राइव। ओके, यानी कि जब भी आप टैली के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं, आप एक शेड्यूल कर दीजिए कि मेरा जो बैकअप है हर रोज सुबह 9 बजे होना चाहिए, हर रोज 1 बजे होना चाहिए, हर रोज 7 बजे होना चाहिए। तो टैली ऑटोमेटिकली आपके काम करने के दरमियान ही आपका बैकअप जो है वो लेता रहेगा। अब आपके पास उस डेटा फोल्डर में आप 5 कंपनी है या 2 कंपनी है या 25 कंपनी है, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, उस पूरे फोल्डर का बैकअप जो है ऑटोमेटिकली बहुत ही स्मार्ट तरीके से टैली ड्राइव के ऊपर हो जाएगा। और आपके क्लाइंट को भी ये आप बता सकते हैं कि आप टैली ड्राइव यूज करिए, और मेरी ये ईमेल आईडी है, इसको एज ए यूजर आप मेंशन कर दीजिए, ताकि मैं जब चाहिए आपका डेटा यहाँ पे चेक कर सकूं। मुझे यहाँ पे मैन्युअली आपका डेटा मंगाने की जरूरत नहीं है वाया वी ट्रांसफर या पेन ड्राइव या ईमेल। ठीक है, सो दिस इज अबाउट हाउ टू यूज टैली ड्राइव। दिस इज वेरी सिंपल। यहाँ पे आपको यहाँ पे एक डेटा करके एक ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है। ओके, डेटा में आप जाएंगे तो यहीं पे आपको बैकअप एंड रिस्टोर में देखिए वहां पे एक ऑप्शन दिया है शेड्यूल बैकअप, सो यू कैन ऐड एज मेनी शेड्यूल्स एज यू वांट। ठीक है, तो जितना शेड्यूल आप चाहें आप उतना ऐड कर सकते हैं, एंड टैली विल वेरी स्मार्टली कंप्रेस इट। जितना आपका डेटा होगा उसको 6 टाइम कंप्रेस कर देगा। ओके, नाउ व्हाइल दिस इज गोइंग ऑन, ठीक है, आई जस्ट वांट टू शो यू समथिंग व्हिच इज इन टैली। ओके, नाउ दिस इज लाइव टैली। ओके, आप में से कितने लोग हैं जब आप टैली चालू करते हैं तो आपको इस तरीके का स्क्रीन आता है? कुछ कोरिलेट कर पा रहे हैं आप लोग? ओके, आई विल शो यू वन मोर थिंग। सो आई हैव क्रिएटेड वन मोर डैशबोर्ड। ओके, तो एक ही जगह पे मुझे ये पता चल रहा है कि मेरा जीएसटी में क्या क्या काम बाकी है, GST1 में क्या काम बाकी है, GSTR 2A में क्या काम बाकी है, GSTR 3B में क्या काम बाकी है. ओके, तो उसका मैंने एक छोटा सा डैशबोर्ड बना दिया है. ओके, एंड इट इज वर्किंग ऑन ऑल द कंपनीज, यानी ये सब पे काम करता है. सो प्लीज यूज दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल डैशबोर्ड. एक बहुत ही छोटी सी चीज है, आई वांट टू शो यू विच यू माइट हैव मिस्ड. सो ये एक ट्रांजैक्शन है. ट्रांजैक्शन यानी कि सेल्स एंट्री बोल दीजिए या प्रोफेशनल बिल बोल दीजिए. इसको जब हम प्रिंट करें तो प्रिंट करते वक्त आप यहाँ पे QR कोड आपका ऐड कर सकते हो. आई थिंक मेनी ऑफ यू माइट नॉट बी अवेयर. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग कि आपके बिल के ऊपर ही आपका QR सामने वाला उसको स्कैन करे और तुरंत आपको पेमेंट हो जाए. ओके, आपको बैंक डिटेल्स वगैरह शेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, सो I wish you all the best. I would like to call upon Rakshit Bhai for just concluding remarks. Okay, I still have 3 minutes to go. So he will do the concluding remarks. We are still here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking, and we provide a lot of services, like anything you saw, setting up those things, configuring your tele so that you get best reports and analysis out of tele. You've seen that tele can do a lot of things that you might want to do or be doing it manually, like taking out data in Excel and then compiling it from different systems. You can use tele. The costing, there are costing reports. We have a lot of reports in tele, and there are a lot of reports that are can be used in for your analysis, and we can help you set that up. Not only that, we can we also are selling partners, and for this opportunity, thank you everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we come to the last part of this 2 days convention, which I would like to start with one Sanskrit slok. Vidya dadati vinayam, vinayat yati patratam, patratvam dhanmapnoti, dhanat dharmatata sukham.
A very pleasant afternoon to our respected, distinguished speakers, senior members of the profession, and esteemed colleagues. As we gather for the valedictory session of this enriching 2-day regional members convention, we are reminded that learning is not merely an accumulation of knowledge, it is a commitment to responsibility and action.
Over the past 2 days, we have witnessed insightful deliberations across 4 transformative themes: ESG excellence, CMAs as architects of sustainable and responsible growth. We explored how CMAs are no longer just financial strategists, but custodians of sustainability and ethical governance.
Second, digital transformation and AI-driven cost competitiveness. We recognize that in an AI-driven world, agility, innovation, and technological adaptation define professional excellence.
Our third session, where we referred the topic, the next generation management leader driving India's journey towards Vishwaguru. We reflected on the evolving leadership role of CMA's visionary CMA Amruta Vyas to escort CMA Neeraj Joshi and CMA Sharad Puranik sir to the dais. I would request Amruta ma'am, CMA Amruta Vyas, to escort CMA Neeraj Joshi and CMA Sharad Puranik sir to the dais.
I would now like to request CMA Chaitanya Mori to escort CMA Dr. Sanjay Bhagave sir to the dais.
I would also like to request CMA Arindam sir to join us on the dais.
So gracing the dais, we have CMA Neeraj Joshi sir, Vice President ICMAI.
CMA Dr. D.V. Joshi sir, former President ICMAI.
CMA Dr. Sanjay Bhagave sir, former council member.
CMA Arindam Goswami, immediate past chairman and treasurer.
CMA Mihir Vyas sir, chairman WIRC ICMAI.
CMA Nanti Shah, Vice Chairman ICMAI WIRC.
CMA Chaitanya Mohri sir, Secretary ICMAI WIRC.
Respected Vice President sir, CMA Neeraj Joshi sir, respected Dr. D.V. Joshi sir, past President, CMA Sanjay Bhargave sir, my counseling colleague, CMA Nanti Bhai sir, CMA Chaitanya Bhai, CMA Arindam Goswami, my Baroda team, CMA Amruta Vyas, and CMA Puranik sir, past chairman. Very good afternoon, everyone. As we arrive at the conclusion of RCMAC 2026, I stand before you with a deep sense of pride, gratitude, and fulfillment. Over the past 2 days, we have not merely participated in convention, we have engaged in meaningful dialogue, exchange transformative idea, strengthen our vision to future of our profession, our nations. This convention is truly historic because of first time ICMAI Baroda chapter has hosted the regional cost and management accountant conventions. Baroda chapter has delivered excellence in every aspect and set a benchmark of the region. Many congratulations, Team Baroda. We are value creators, strategic advisor, ESG champion, digital transformation partner, and guardian of governance. The future belonging to the professional who combine knowledge with integrity, innovation with ethics, strategy, and national purpose. I extend my sincere gratitude to my president, vice president, all the council members, my regional council members, all the speakers, sponsors, organizer committee, volunteer, every delegate, students, my WRC team, my Baroda chapter team, and especially my WRC staff, Tanmay, Gauri madam, Pujanka madam, Kanchan madam, Sakshi. In my Baroda team, Devang bhai, Bimal bhai, Ritesh bhai, and all the volunteer of my Baroda chapter. Let this convention not end as an event, let it continue as a commitment. After this event, we have
regional student conference at Surat. So I again request all the students kindly do join us, and all the practicing member, please sponsor your student to join this event at Surat on 17-18 March. My student committee chairman Nanti Bhai will give detail more about this. With immense pride and gratitude, I welcome all the dignity on the dais. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai CMA.
Thank you so much, sir. For our today's valedictory session, we have CMA Dr. D.V. Joshi, sir, whom I would take a lot of honor to introduce. Joshi, sir, has served as the president of ICMAI for the year 2006-2001. In the Golden Jubilee National Convention of Institute at commemoration function, His Excellency Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, felicitated CMA Dr. Dhananjay V. Joshi for his outreach to the profession of cost and management accounting. I would now like to take this occasion and responsibility to invite and request CMA Mihir Vyas, Chairman WIRC ICMAI, to felicitate CMA Dr. D.V. Joshi, sir. And CMA Nanti Shah.
CMA Sanjay Bhagavat, sir. Now, before felicitating him, I would take some time, spare some time to introduce him. He is the fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He is having 45 years of experience in the field like journalism, taxation, cost and management accounting, budgeting, materials management, O&M, and implementing advanced management techniques like Kaizen, ISO, etc. He is a practicing cost accountant with specialization in indirect taxes and cost reduction techniques. He has been awarded the PhD, that is the doctorate degree, by Savitribai Phule Pune University on the subject tax planning as a tool for cost reduction, with special emphasis on central excise and service tax, with reference to selected industrial units in and around Pune. Now I would like to request Thank you so much, sir.
I would now request CMA Arindam Goswami, immediate past chairman and treasurer, ICMAI WIRC, to give the closing remarks for this 2 days convention program.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed members, dear colleagues and friends. As we arrive at the valedictory moment of the Regional Cost and Management Accountant Convention 2026, my heart is filled with gratitude and pride. These 2 remarkable days have not merely been a convention, they have been a confluence of wisdom, vision, and purposeful dialogue. Over the past 2 days, we have witnessed a powerful blend of knowledge and foresight, from insightful technical session to thought-provoking panel discussion. The deliberation have reinforced that CMAs are not merely custodians of cost, but architects of value. I wholeheartedly congratulate our Vice President Sir, Neeraj Joshi Sir, Asin Dalwadi Sir, Ashish Thate sir, Harshad Deshpande sir, and our three mentors, Dr. D.B. Joshi sir, Amitabh Te sir, and Dr. Sanjay Bhargave sir, and CMA Mihir Bhai, Chairman, along with my esteemed colleagues, CMA Nantisa, Vice Chairman, CMA Chaitanya Mahiri sir, Secretary, and Mahendra Bhombe sir, Manisha madam, and the entire team, and also Vale Rao sir, for their exceptional teamwork and collective commitment that made this convention a grand success. I also most importantly believe that conventions like this are not endpoints. They are launchpads. Let us depart with a collective commitment to elevate our profession, to strengthen our nation's economic framework, and to continue learning, leading, and innovating to moving forward to become a Vishwaguru. I conclude with a thought. The future does not belong to those who calculate cost alone. It belongs to those who create value beyond numbers. Jai Hind and Jai CMA.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now request CMA Sharad Puranik, sir, to give his closing remarks for this 2 days convention program.
Thank you. Am I audible? Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody. Dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, delegates and professional friends. We have come almost to the end of the session and 2-day seminar, 2-day workshop for COS conference on the vision Vishwaguru Crafting Competitive Bharat. To sum up the key takeaways and deliberations for last 2 days, we started with the inaugural session, which was emphasized as to how India is emerging a great manufacturing hub as well as the service sector hub. In the past decade, especially, the GDP growth is at around 7% and is expected to grow almost at the same rate. The reforms in all sectors and government policies from Atmanirbhar Bharat to a roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2047 has brought a tremendous growth in both manufacturing sector and service sector, which is likely to continue at least for next 20 to 25 years. And this is going to position India as a global leader. The cost competitiveness already achieved and emphasized on ethical practices to build the integrity as foundation will help India to have a sustainable growth and can think beyond the numbers to contribute back to the well-being of the society at large. From the inside, there were some announcements about new introduction of CAS 25 on the detailed inventory valuation and some other guidelines which are likely to come up in near future. This will educate all our members for coping up with the transformation process and capacity. The expert also explained the benefits of ESG in improvising the cost competitiveness and minimizing the adverse effect of global warming. The second technical session gave it insight into the tools like ERP, SAP, and artificial intelligence. It was well explained for developing of the next generation costing. Using AI techniques and to have a real-time digital data transformation also was explained. However, at the same time, caution was given how to use the original intelligence also. The third technical session was a panel discussion for CFOs in various industries and which was a very live session. The experts shared their individual experiences in industry and how they are actually using AI tool for the next generation costing and strategic planning in the times of uncertainties. how these corporates use these techniques like activity-based costing, target costing, and life cycle costing was also discussed in detail. I am sure our delegates and professionals must have gained maximum out of the rich experiences of the expert, which they can make use at their respective workplace. In the fourth technical session, which just ended before this, the development of capital markets in India and how various MSME sector growth is taking place was also discussed by the panel. And it was a very live session which was enjoyed by our members here. To conclude, the need is to focus on ethical practices to achieve the sustainable growth, use of AI and other tools for the next generation cost competitiveness and cost leadership. We CMAs will rise in literal sense as our past president Ashwin Bhai yesterday discussed, that is responsibility, branding, intensifying the growth, strength, competency, and enhancement of capacity building. So that is how we would like to rise to the occasion, and it is our key role to play in the coming years, which will definitely help in the journey. The approval from the headquarters, more particularly our VP, our President, Vice President, and their entire team members in the Council. However, this gives a sense of responsibility to all present here that whatever gaps we are going to face in the total budget, as the project has been delayed, we are going to face some shortages, and it would be our responsibility to bridge it, and we are taking everybody present here will come forward in this connection. I would appeal all the members to come forward. From tomorrow, we are going to start a new mission, the mission of construction of CMA Bhavan at Baroda, and I would like participation of one and all in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request CMA Chaitanya Mori, sir, Secretary ICMAI-WIRC, to share his thoughts for the Regional Cost and Management Accountants Convention 2026.
Good afternoon. Respected dignitaries on the dais, CMA Dr. Dhananjay Joshi, sir, former President, CMA Dr. Sanjay Bhargave, sir, former Council Member, and for all the CMAs. As we conclude Regional Cost and Management Accountant Convention 2026 at Baroda, I stand before you with immense pride and heartfelt gratitude. Last 2 days have not only enriched us technically, but have strengthened our professional fraternity and reaffirmed our shared vision Vishwaguru CMA's crafting cost competitive Bharat. On behalf of WIRC, I extend my sincere congratulations to the entire team of Baroda Chapter Managing Committee under the leadership of Amruta Vyas, Priyank Vyas, Vandit Trivedi, Mohit Nagdev, Anuj Pathak, Hardik Diwanji, Kartik Vasora, Hirav Shah, staff of WIRC, staff of Baroda Chapter, and volunteers of Baroda who are future CMAs. Your dedication, coordination, and relentless hard work have truly borne the fruit. The seamless execution of insightful sessions and vibrant participants reflects months of thoughtful planning and collective effort. A very special congratulations to my dynamic chairman, CMA Mihir Vyas, because of your visionary and unwavering commitment have been a driving force behind the convention's success. Your ability to inspire and execute with precision has set a benchmark for all of us. I also extend my heartfelt congratulations to Amruta Vyas, whose outstanding leadership at Baroda chapter has ensured, and his son Neeraj Joshi is presently serving as Vice President. This beautiful continuity of leadership reflects the deep-rooted values, tradition, commitment for our institute. Thank you, sir. It's a truly unique historic moment, a husband and wife leading the region and chapter simultaneously. This perhaps the first time in the Institute of History that such partnership has aligned at both regional and chapter level. It symbolizes shared vision, mutual respect, and collective dedication towards the growth of our profession. These combinations are not just coincidences, they are powerful symbols of legacy, unity, and commitment. They remind us that our institute is not merely an organization, it's a family bound by values, excellence, and service. As a Secretary of WRC, I feel privileged to be part of this historic journey. Let us carry forward the inspiration from Baroda, implement the knowledge gained, and
Closing remarks for our two-day convention program.
Once again, thank you. It is always a pleasure to attend a valedictory session where such an audience is retained. Let me start my address. Let me recognize the dais, our mentor WRC and former chair, President ICMAI DV Joshi sir, CMA Dr. Sanjay Bhargave sir, in audience CMA Amit Anand Apte sir, my chairman WRC Meerbhai Vyas, my former chairmans Chaitanya Morir sir and Arindam Goswami ji, my mentor advisor of Baroda, not prepared a speech as such, apart from some of the names that I might not mispronounce. So my speech will be in a random manner, so do excuse me if I do omit some names. But then let me recognize the local managing committee. First of all the guests you might have encountered with, first of all, Hero Bhai, who has taken care of the accommodation, Priyank Bhai, who has taken care of every nook and corner of this arrangement here, along with Vandit Bhai and Anuj sir, who was dealing with the volunteers also. Then let me recognize Karthik Bhai and Hardik Bhai also, who have given their time. Let me recognize the employees of Baroda chapter, Ritesh Dabgarji, Bimal Shah, Devang Solanki ji. They have spent so much time with the team. I understand WRC team will also agree with us that they have put equal efforts. Gauri madam, Pujanka madam, Sakshi madam, Kanchan madam and Tanmay bhai. And Mahi Prakash ji also was supposed to be volunteers. They were helping all the arrangements. We were surprised and so much happy to see the way Meerbhai has got such a big team together. And this is the way we wanted our fraternity to be. A big team, and the way he has, based on the previous two former chairmen of WRC, the kind of trust the fraternity also, the corporate world puts trust in this once in a year kind of event. It is just growing and it is showing some, let's say, big hope that we are making a mark now regionally as well as nationally. And the way we heard from our president and vice presidents, the future track and vision for our profession, and the way it was implemented also. First session on ESG, second session the corporates that deliberated. Today, the first session was regarding how capital market are making the mark in the same. I'm sure that yes, we have our existential recognition is cost competence and audit, but that is helping us in each and every aspect or direction of the consultancy service that we'll be able to provide, and the way our CMAs are also serving to engage with the industry also. I request all of the members to do inspire your trainees, your students that are known to you to do participate. We as WRC are trying to create an experience whereby the future CMAs also are equally, let's say, engaged in the vision that we are forcing. With this, I think I'll not take much of a speech time. Once again, congratulations, Team Baroda chapter. You set a very big benchmark, battered the benchmark of the previous two former chairmen of WRC that I worked under. And I'm sure that whoever has the privilege of hosting the next RCMAC, they have a very big shoes to put their foot in. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now like to request CM.
Come close to the end of this enriching convention. We reflect not merely on the sessions we attended, but on the responsibility we collectively carry. The theme that we chose, Vision Vishwaguru, CMA's crafting the cost competitive Bharat, is not a slogan. It is a strategic direction and it is a national commitment. India does not aspire to lead the world by scale alone. India aspires to lead by wisdom, efficiency, innovation, and integrity. A nation becomes Vishwaguru not by the size of its economy, but by the strength of its systems. And systems are strengthened when costs are understood, controlled, optimized, and aligned with value creation. Cost competitiveness is often misunderstood. It is not about reducing quality. It is not about cutting corners. It is about eliminating waste, improving productivity, enhancing transparency, and ensures not only by GDP, but by governance quality, cost efficiency, sustainable growth, ethical standards, and integration of technology with human-centric processes. To be called as Vishwaguru, we must ensure inclusive growth, not only between sectors like service, manufacturing, agriculture, but among all the socio-economic strata and also among all the global economies divide, that global north and global south. Vishwaguru is not a title to be claimed, but it is a standard to be achieved. And it is a standard that will be achieved by contribution of professionals like CMAs. Let us not aim to be the biggest economy alone. Let us aim to be the most efficient, ethical, and all-inclusive economy that has ever been. That would be the real path to becoming Vishwaguru. At the end, I would like to thank the entire team of Vadodara chapter, ably led by CMA Amruta Vyas Madam, for their support for RCMAC 2026. And on behalf of ICMAI, I congratulate the entire team of WRC, led by CMA Mihir Vyas Chairman, for successful conduct of RCMAC 2026, the first regional convention among the four. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
May I now invite CMA Dr. Sanjay Bhargave sir, former council member, for his insights and thoughtful address.
Behind every successful person, there is a woman. And probably without her contribution, this program, of course, she has contributed on two fronts. She has allowed Mihir to spend more time for getting success in this program, and her personal contribution is also tremendous. So both are here. Other colleagues, Arindam, Chaitanya, Nanti, the most beloved Vice President Neeraj, and the senior professional Puranik sir, and participants. I am here to basically express my thoughts on this regional cost conference. First of all, let me congratulate WRC for giving opportunity to Baroda chapter to organize this regional cost conference, and they have proved their mettle. Since all the 4 council members from Western region, Neeraj, Ashish, Dr. Ashish, Harshad and Ashwin Dalwadi, all are here. I expect and I request them, started by these young and dynamic council members. I request Neeraj to kindly think on this line and please provide the opportunity to big chapters for organizing National Cost Convention. Now coming to the subject, how was this 2 days regional cost conference? And if I have to basically judge the success of this conference or any program, then there are only 2 parameters. And the first is, how was the food quality? And if the food quality is good, the program is also good. And on this front, I think Baroda chapter will get 100 marks. The food quality yesterday lunch, dinner, today's breakfast was excellent. So on that ground, the program is successful. Now coming to the other parameter, that is how much knowledge the participants have gained from any conference. And if I have to basically talk on that, Vision Vishwaguru and cost accountants' contribution in becoming our country as a Vishwaguru. 4 factors were to consider. That is the profound knowledge of the subject. That is number 1. Number 2, ethical discipline. Number 3, ability to guide others. And number 4, purity in thoughts. And the 5th most important factor is willingness to work hard. And on all these 5 points, if I have to basically judge this convention in one sentence, knowledge, yes. Ability to work hard, Baroda chapter has shown, WRC has shown. Justice to the subject they have given. Ethical discipline also we have seen. The way this was arranged, the way the event has taken place, it was marvelous. Ability to guide others. We have attended all the technical sessions yesterday and today. Ability to guide others, all the speakers, panel members, they have given justice to the subject allotted to them. Guide to others will be proved. Ethical discipline, we know that so far in the last 60-70 years, not a single cost accountant has been basically debarred from the practice. He has not involved in any of the scams and frauds. And that shows that this ethical discipline is followed by our members. And that is the major thing if somebody has to become a guru. So all the qualities to become a guru are there in the cost accountants. And once we become a guru, then we have to work more hard to become a Vishwaguru, because Vishwaguru is not a simple thing. And I think WRC, our institute and Baroda chapter, important task, but the share of the cost accountants, definitely we have proved that we are ready to take challenges, we are ready to take pains if India has to become a Vishwaguru. And I hope that many more such programs WRC and our institute will organize, because this is just a beginning and we have to move further. The vision is very clear, mission is very clear. We are ready to take challenges. I wish WRC, I wish Baroda chapter, our institute, Neeraj has taken a lot of efforts for this convention also. I congratulate all of them, and I congratulate all of you also, because patiently you are hearing the speakers, your participation was marvelous during the last 2 days. Again, I congratulate and I thank Baroda chapter for organizing this beautiful event. I thank WRC also for their contribution and their hard work in making this program successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. It is my honor now to call upon CMA Dr. D.V. Joshi, sir, former president, to share his remarks for the RCMAC 2026.
Good afternoon, friends. So I'm fortunate that it is not evening. So at least this reminds me of another seminar. Meher brought what we call a robo, right? In the first part of this seminar. So similar robo was brought in at the end of the seminar as the last speaker. Now, since the robo was also having artificial intelligence naturally built into it, the robo observed that there are only 1/4 of the participants inside the auditorium, 1/2 of the participants are outside taking their lunch, and another 25% have already left. The first announcement was made by the robo that the mementos will be given only, but I will not extend it. I will be making it very short, very crisp, very small. And the people were very happy. They started liking his speech. The first sentence he uttered was, "All you human beings are outdated. You are obsolete." So people still did not understand the gravity of it, and they still started laughing, and they were quite enjoying it. Then he said, "Gentlemen, now I am going to switch off the lights so that you can really enjoy my speech." So that is how it is so difficult in case of such last batting. When you come as the last batsman, it's very difficult for anyone. But I will try to make it as short as possible. I will not go into much details of the subject, even if I would have liked to go in for it. Now, there are 3-4 concepts which are very important for us, which were the heart of this entire 1.5 days proceedings. The first one is regarding our subject was vision. Vision Vishwaguru. So what is a vision basically? So vision is our roadmap. So how India would like to become the Vishwa Guru, that is the theme, that was the theme of our seminar. And then when we say Guru, what is a Guru basically? So there is a difference between teacher and Guru. When we say Guru, it gets with the concept, it gets attached, the concept of what we call as spirituality. So there is a difference, vast difference between the concept of teacher and Guru, the sphere of our life. I will not go into much details. I had a good presentation to be made on cost competitiveness, etc., etc. At the outset, I will just tell you the last summing up of my session was that India has already achieved the #1 position in cost competitiveness as far as manufacturing is concerned, which means the cost competitiveness, and it's a very pride moment that we have achieved #1 position in the world, leaving behind even China. There is an international index on manufacturing cost competitiveness, which has recently been published, and there India stands at #1. So with this positive note, I really thank everyone from Vadodara chapter for organizing this wonderful 2 days program on behalf of WRC for Regional Cost Convention. Now here, if the chairperson permits me of Vadodara chapter, Puranik sir has already told, our Vice President Neeraj has already mentioned the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now request the members present on the dais to come forward and felicitate the Managing Committee members, Central Council members, Regional Council members, volunteers, and technical staff members.
I would now like to call Pujanka ma'am to start with the felicitation, please. Thank you so much.
I request CMA Dr. Ashish Prakash Satte sir and Harshad Deshpande sir, Central Council member, and Amit Apte sir, former president, to kindly join us for the dais. It's time to express our heartfelt gratitude to those whose dedication and tireless efforts made RCMAC 2026 a grand success. Firstly, we honor and felicitate the pillars of hosting chapter ICMA Baroda chapter with a big round of applause. Now I request CMA Neeraj Joshi sir, Vice President ICMA, to kindly felicitate CMA Amruta Vyas, Chairperson ICMA Baroda chapter. ICMA Baroda chapter. Now I request CMA Harshad Deshpande sir, Central Council member ICMA, to kindly felicitate CMA Vandit Trivedi sir, Secretary ICMAI Baroda chapter. Also, I request CMA Ashwin Kumar Dalwadi sir, former President ICMA and Central Council member ICMA, to kindly join the dais, sir. Please. Now I request CMA Ashwin Kumar Dalwadi sir, former President and CCM ICMA, to kindly felicitate CMA Mohit Nagdev sir, Treasurer ICMAI Baroda chapter. Now I request CMA Mihir Vyas sir, Chairman ICMAI WRC, to kindly felicitate CMA Hardik Diwanji sir, Member ICMAI Baroda chapter. Now I request CMA Nandi Shah sir to kindly felicitate CMA Karthik Vaswada sir, Member ICMAI Baroda chapter. Now I request CMA Arindam Goswami sir, immediate past chairman and treasurer ICMAI WRC, to kindly felicitate CMA Hirav Kumar Shah, member ICMAI Baroda chapter. Now I request CMA Vivek Bhalerao sir and Manisha ma'am to kindly felicitate CMA SS Puranik sir, advisor ICMAI Baroda chapter. Now I request respected CMA Dr. Dhananjay Joshi sir to kindly felicitate CME Mihir Vyas sir, Chairman ICMAI-WIRC. Also, I request D.V. Joshi sir to kindly felicitate CME Nanti Shah sir, Vice Chairman ICMAI-WIRC. Thank you, sir. Now I request CME Amit Apte sir, former President ICMA, to kindly felicitate CME Chaitanya Murir sir, past Chairman and Secretary ICMA-WIRC. Also, I request Amit sir to kindly felicitate CMA Arindam Goswami sir, immediate past chairman and treasurer ICMA-WIRC. Now I request CME Sanjay Bhargave sir to kindly felicitate CME Manisha Agrawal ma'am, Regional Council Member ICMA-WIRC. Also, I request Bhargave sir to kindly felicitate CME Vivek Bhalerao sir, Regional Council Member ICMA-WIRC. Also, I request Bhargave sir to kindly also felicitate CME Mahendra Bhumbe sir, Regional Council Member ICMA-WIRC. all the dignitaries on the dais, I requested to kindly felicitate the staff members of the Western India Regional Council and ICMA Baroda chapter, Mrs. Gauri Fadke, AAO ICMA WRC. I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate, please. Mrs. Kanchan Srivastava, AAO ICMA WRC. Mr. Tanmay More, AAO ICMA WRC. Mrs. Sakshi Wagh, Administration Assistant, ICMA WRC.
Now Ms. Pujanka Gaurav, Research Associate, ICMI WRC.
Mr. Ritesh, Sir, ICMA Baroda chapter. Mr. Bimal Shah, Sir, ICMA Baroda chapter. Mr. Devang Solanki, ICMA Baroda chapter. Also, I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate Mr. Vaishvik Patel and Monish Das, MOC, for the RCMAC 2026. Also, I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate Mr. Minesh Thailani for the support of the RCMAC 2026.
इच्छापूर्ति गणेश की जय।
Also felicitate CMA Neeraj Jangit sir for the support of RCMAC 2026. Please sir. Also, I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate CMA Dushyant Dave sir, the sponsorer RCMAC 2026. Also, Rakshit sir. Also, I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate our sponsorer, Progressive Infotech Tally Prime, Mr. Rakshit sir. Also, I invite ONGC Petro Editions Limited cultural event sponsor, Ms. Nirali ma'am, to please come forward. I request dignitaries to kindly felicitate. Also, I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate CMA Mallar Dalwadi sir for the support of the RCMAC 2026. Sanjay Gupta sir के I invite Mr. Nitin from the GAIL. I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate. I requested CMA Dushan Dave sir. I requested dignitaries to kindly felicitate, please. Abhijit sir. I also invite Mr. Abhijit from the Power Grid Holding Company. I request whole team of Power Grid plus come forward on the dais. Out of time. Okay. I requested all for come on the dais for the group photograph. I request all the volunteers of the RCMAC 2026, please come forward on the dais, please. Venisha Solani. Shrenil.
Next, Riyaz Sheikh, please be ready. Purvi. नियति खंडेलवाल. निसर्ग मजमूदार. मानव डेबर. हिमाद्री. दिया प्रधान.
धैर्य सोनी. अथर्व यादव. अनेरी चिते. आदित्य महेश्वरी. उज्जवल सिंह. सावनी. रिया पवार. पार्थ सकपाल. नियति खंडेलवाल. मेघा पुराणिक. Komal Ahuja, Griva Soni, Dhruvi Patel, Dhairya Patel, Anmol Yagnik, Akshat Shah, thank you.
Pankti Bhatt,
है कि नहीं नहीं है अच्छा तो जाने दो
Now we would like to felicitate the Devbhai from the Waves Club, who provide us amazing venue and the food. Thank you so much, Devbhai. All the volunteers, please come forward for the group photographs. And please come forward, all the managing committee members of the Baroda chapter and staff also. Manhar Talwadi, please come on the dais. Please join us for the photograph. And Neeraj Bhai, please come.
Now we will officially conclude our Regional Cost and Management Accountants Convention 2026 with the national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे